Park as your Washington Wild Things start a 3-game series with the Traverse City Beach Bums. Hi everyone, I'm Zach Ziegler taking you through all the action here in the 2016 season. 2016 season starting to wind down. Got a little bit under a month left of baseball as your Wild Things trying to make a playoff push on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Coming up, we're going to recap both games of the doubleheader against Windy City on Sunday. Wild Things winning each game. One game won by the score of 6-2, and one game 2 by the score of 3-2. So we're going to recap both of those games for you. Also, a sit-down with one of the newest Wild Things, Justin Garcia. Garcia picking up his first RBI in Game 2 of Sunday's doubleheader, so you'll hear from him. Also coming up, going to take a look at the lineups and the first pitch in this ball game. It's all right here on the MSA Sports Network. Now, as we said, Wild Things taking both games of their doubleheader against the Windy City Thunderbolts on Sunday. It all started with Game 1. Wild Things pitcher Zach Groats making his debut as a starter for the Washington Wild Things, and the Wild Things offense doing him some favors early on. They scored early and often. Andrew Heck led off the game with a single, then Austin Wobrock would strike out. Ricky Rodriguez would then reach on an error, putting runners at first and third with just one man out. Dave Popkins would then be hit by a pitch. That would load the bases with one out before Alvaro Gonzalez came through with a 3 RBI double. Heck, Rodriguez, and Popkins would all score, and the Wild Things took an early 3-0 lead. Next batter, Kyle Pollock, came through with an RBI single. That brought home Alvaro Gonzalez and gave the Wild Things a 4-0 lead in the top of inning number 1. Now the Windy City Thunderbolts would get on the board in the bottom of the second. Ransom Lalonde started out lining out to a diving Alvaro Gonzalez. A very good defensive play to start things in that second inning, but then Kyle Wood would single, and Blair Beck came through with an RBI double. Wood came around to score, and the Wild Things would have a 4-1 lead after 2 innings of play. Wild Things would get back on the board in inning number 4. Grant Fink double to lead things off. Jamadek Magruder would then walk before Andrew Heck came through with an RBI single. It was his 3rd RBI of the series. Fink would come in to score, and the Wild Things took a 5-1 lead. Austin Wobrock would then hit into a fielder's choice, and Ricky Rodriguez would fly out to end the inning. Wild Things would extend their lead in the top half of the 5th. Dave Popkins singled to lead things off. Then Alvaro Gonzalez hit into a fielder's choice before Kyle Pollock came through with an RBI double. Gonzalez came around to score. That made it 6-1 Wild Things, and that would be all for the starter, Brady Muller. Coming in to relieve him was Chris Chigos. Chigos got Justin Garcia to ground out and Grant Fink to ground out to end the inning. Brady Muller, the starter, finished his day. 4 1/3 innings of work, gave up 6 runs, 5 of those earned on 8 hits, walked 1, and struck out 5 in the ball game. Wild Things 6-1 lead. Windy City would try to cut into that lead in the bottom half of inning number 5. Larry Balkwill would double to lead things off. Then Taylor Smart lined out before John Williams came through with a single, and Tim Zier an RBI single. That would score Balkwill and make the score 6-2 Washington Wild Things. However, after that, Wild Things pitching able to shut down the Windy City Thunderbolts. Zach Groats goes 6 in this ball game, giving up 2 runs, both earned on 6 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Andrew Wick came in for the bottom of inning number 7. He threw a perfect inning of work, striking out 2, as the only guy who reached base on him was via the error. John Williams reaching base on that error. Wick would strike out the last 2 men to end the ball game, and the Wild Things would pick up the win. That would improve their record on the year to 36-39. Zach Groats picked up the win in that ball game. He improved to 4-2 on the season. The losing pitcher in that one was, Brady Muller for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Then in Game 2 of that doubleheader, Wild Things came back and got a very good pitching performance from their starter, Chase Cunningham. Wild Things scored the first run of this ball game in the top of inning number 4. Alvaro Gonzalez would triple to lead things off. Kyle Pollock would then ground out, and Justin Garcia, who we'll hear from in a little bit, hit a sacrifice fly. Gonzalez came in to score. It was Garcia's first RBI as a Washington Wild Thing. Grant Fink would then strike out to end the inning. Chase Cunningham was very good in this ball game, especially early on. First inning, he only faced 4 men, allowed a guy to second before getting Corey Bass to fly out and Charlie Thurber to pop out. Got a 1-2-3 second, 1-2-3 third. The big threat for Windy City came in the bottom half of the 4th. Tim Zier would fly out to start things before Corey Bass singled. Charlie Thurber would then fly out. Ransom Lalonde would single. So there were runners at first and second with 2 men out before Johnny Ironman hit into a fielder's choice. that would end that half of the inning. Now, the big blow for Windy City came in the bottom of the sixth. Coco Johnson popped out to lead things off. Then Tim Zier would be hit by a pitch, and Corey Bass would come through with a 2-run home run. It was Bass's 10th home run of the year, and that gave Windy City a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the sixth with one man out. Charlie Thurber would then strike out, and Ransom Lalonde would ground out. So the Wild Things were going into the top half of the seventh, down by a run after leading 1-0 the entire game. That 2-1 shot gave Windy City their first lead of the day. However, the Wild Things did not go down, as it started with a Grant Fink ground out, then Ryan Willard would single. Andrew Heck doubled to put runners at second and third with one man out, and then Jimmy Yezzo, dealing with an ankle injury, came off the bench in a pinch hitting role and came through in a big way, delivering an RBI single up the middle. That brought home Ryan Willard. That made the score 2-2. Next batter, Ricky Rodriguez, a sacrifice fly. Andrew Heck scored, and that gave the Wild Things the lead they needed as they took a 3-2 lead in the top half of the seventh. Dave Popkins would then ground out to end the inning. In the bottom half of the inning, a 1-2-3 perfect inning for Colin Stanley. Johnny Ironman flew out, Kyle Wood grounded out, and Taylor Smart popped out to end the game. The winning pitcher in that one was Chase Cunningham. Cunningham improved to 5-8, pitched very well in this one. Went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits, walked nobody, and struck out 3 in the ballgame. Needed 82 pitches to get through that 6th inning of work. The loser in this one was Brian Lokensall. Lokensall fell to 1-3 on the season. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 runs. Both of those runs were earned on 3 hits, not walking anybody and not striking anybody out. The save going to Colin Stanley. It was Stanley's 2nd save of the year. Stanley threw a scoreless inning of work, as we said, not striking anybody out, not walking anybody, and picking up that 2nd save of the year. That improved the Wild Things record to 37-39 entering play tonight against the Traverse City Beach Bums. We're going to take our first break here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, we're going to have our sit-down with Wild Things infielder Justin Garcia. It's all coming up right here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Currently joined by Wild Things infielder Justin Garcia. And Justin, in Sunday's game, got your first Wild Things RBI with that sacrifice fly. How did it feel to get that first RBI off your back?
It felt pretty good. I mean, it was a 0-0 ball game, and Chase was throwing really well. And I knew I didn't have an RBI, but I was like, you know what? Let me just not mess this up here. Let me not try to do too much. So I just tried to hit the ball in the air, and he threw a ball over the plate and got the job done, really.
And you talked about Chase Cunningham, pitched really well in yesterday's ball game, just gave up 2 runs. What was it like playing defense behind him, and what did you see from him on the mound?
Oh, man, I love playing defense behind him. He throws a lot of strikes. He works really quick. So as a defender, that's all you can ask for, a guy that works really fast, and that's just awesome. That's awesome.
And you guys got the comeback win in Sunday's game, won 3-2. Can you talk about the emotions in the dugout in that top of the 7th inning when you guys scored the 2 runs to take the lead?
Oh, man, that was sick. When we went up 1-0, I thought we had it, and that home run that they hit was kind of deflating, but we didn't let it knock us down, and it was pretty crazy. That was a crazy inning. You guys were coming off the bench with a huge hit, and that was awesome.
And talking about that deflating feeling, how do you keep your hopes up after a big home run like that to say, all right, we're going to come back in this next inning?
You just got to trust the guys. We got a really good team here, 1 through 9, guys off the bench as well, so it's deflating, but, it's just 1 run, and we got a really good team, like I said, so not too bad.
And we've seen you both at first base and in left field so far for the Wild Things this year. Talk about the different preparation for the different positions between first and left field. Anything different you do going into the games?
Yeah, if I know I'm starting left field, I'll take more reads during BP and kind of stretch out more for getting ready to run back and all after balls and throw a little further since I got to do longer throws from left field. When at first base, I kind of just want to get in those short throws more, and I want to take a lot of ground balls before the game, and I'm still kind of getting used to my other infielders with Wolbrock and whoever's playing second and Ricky. So I just kind of get used to their throws, and I get a lot of reps from them. But
Currently joined by Wild Things infielder Justin Garcia. And Justin, in your first week and a half with the team, what's it been like getting to know these guys on this Wild Things club?
Oh man, this is an awesome bunch. They're so funny, and I feel at home really. I mean, it's obviously awkward at the beginning, but they're just so funny. This is an awesome team.
And you have some experience in minor league baseball with the Houston Astros. In that first week and a half, what are some of the similarities and differences between affiliated ball and then here in the Independent Frontier League?
Not much, really. I mean, the talent here is really well as well. Honestly, coming from there, I didn't expect that, but the pitching here is really well. The guys are really smart, and maybe the talent is not, the roof is not as high as where I was, but I mean, the guys here are great ball players as well. This is a good league, and it's awesome.
And finally, starting a 3-game series with the Traverse City Beach Bums tonight. You weren't with the team last time we played Traverse City, but what's your preparation for this series going into it against a team you haven't seen yet?
Same thing. Just trying to win one game at a time, trying to get into the playoffs. I know we're about like 2.5 games out, so we're just trying to win the series, but we're going to try to take the first game and work from there.
Thanks, Justin. Good luck today.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for baseball here tonight in Game 1 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. I'm Zach Ziegler, live from Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. The Traverse City Beach Bums on the field right now. They align like this defensively in the outfield left to right. Brian Bacher, Marcus Dirks, and Jeff W. Left side of the infield held down by Elijah Trail and Will Kenger. Right side held down by Steven Patterson and Giancarlo Bergoni. Behind the plate is Kendall Patrick. Patrick is catching tonight's starter, Michael Shreves, for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Michael Shreves has started one other time against the Wild Things, picked up a loss in that game against Washington, so looking to reverse his fortunes here in tonight's game against your Washington Wild Things. For Shreves on the year, he currently has a record of 2-7 with a 5.51 ERA, appearing in his 16th game, making his 16th start. He's thrown 81 2/3 innings of work, giving up 58 runs, 50 of those earned on 87 hits, 31 strikeouts, and 34 walks on the season for Michael Shreves. The lineup he'll face for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. As the leadoff man right now, Andrew Heck stepping in. It'll be Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, Ricky Rodriguez, Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, Alvaro Gonzalez, Kyle Pollock, Jamadrick Magruder, and Austin Wobrock with Matt Frodden on the hill. Heck stepping in right now. Heck on the year is hitting .276 with no homers and 13 RBIs. Shreve set. Here's the first pitch, and Heck takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. First pitch tonight thrown at exactly 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time, and the temperature outside is a cool 74 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. This one hit the left field and pretty deep. Going back is the left fielder to the track, and it'll bounce off the wall. Marcus Dirks over there in left center field will get the recovery. He'll throw it in, and it's a leadoff double for Andrew Heck. So right out of the gate, the Wild Things in business here in the top of the first. They have a runner at second with nobody out. Andrew Heck giving that one a ride to left center field. The left fielder, Brian Barker, and the right center fielder, Marcus Dirks, both gave chase on that one, but neither able to come up with it as it hit off the left center field wall, and Heck in there with a leadoff double. That brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far, 267, 2 home runs, and 12 RBIs. Shreves has his sign, checks Heck over at second. Here's the pitch, and Grayson pops this one up. Left side coming in, and making the catch will be Elijah Trail. That's good for out number 1. Andrew Heck will have to hold right where he is. At second base. So 1 man out for the Wild Things here in the top of the first, and that brings up the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez on the year hitting .301, 5 home runs, and 26 RBIs. That .301 average is good for the team lead on the Washington Wild Things. Andrew Heck started this game with a leadoff double. He's at second with 1 man out. Takes his lead out there. Shreves looks into his catcher, Patrick, going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set, checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And Rodriguez takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes for Michael Shreves on the mound. He's a guy who's going to give up his hits as on the season in his 81 2/3 innings of work. He's given up 87 hits on the year. So the Wild Things hope to take advantage of that and do well with runners in scoring position. Here's the pitch, and that one swung and missed by Rodriguez. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. We've seen Rodriguez move that DH role more often as Alvaro Gonzalez, who's out at third base once again for the Wild Things, gets some more shots there. Shreves looking in. Heck takes his lead from second. Shreves checks him over there, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And Rodriguez grounds this one to the left side past the third base coaching box. That'll go foul, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. For the Wild Things, coaching on the base paths. At third base, it'll be manager Greg Langben, and at first base is hitting coach Mike Marshall. Umpires for this evening's ball game as well. Behind home plate, Phil Pupillo, and on the bases, Drew Ashcraft. Michael Shreves has his sign, checks Wobrock at second. Here's the 1-2. This ball grounded to the right side, handled by Bergoni at first. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 2. Meanwhile, Andrew Heck moves up to third base. So there's a runner at third now with 2 men out, and that'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far on the year, hitting .290 with 11 home runs and 41 RBIs. 2 men out here in the top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Shreves has his sign, checks the runner Heck at third, and the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the switch hitting Dave Popkins, batting left-handed against the righty Michael Shreves. Andrew Heck started this inning off with a double, but Chris Grayson popped out, and Ricky Rodriguez grounded out to make it 2 outs and a runner at third. Shreves has his sign, checks Heck over there, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. Swing and a miss there by Popkins, and the count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dave Popkins likes to work deep into counts, especially early on. Leads the team in both walks and strikeouts on the year. He'll do a little bit of both, but he'll also have some nice powers. He leads the team in 11 homers as well. Here's the 1-1, and this ball popped up left side. Third baseman drifting over into foul territory, Trail, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. So no runs in the inning for your Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After half an inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 0, Traverse City Beach Bums coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in Citric Nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the first, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Wild Things are on the field right now. They align like this defensively. In the outfield, left to right, Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Alvaro Gonzalez and Austin Wobrock. Right side by Jamadrick Magruder and Jimmy Yezzo. Behind the plate is Kyle Pollock, catching tonight's starter, Matt Frodden. Frodden enters this one with a record of 5-6 on the year, a 2.93 ERA. Appearing in his 16th game, making his 15th start. Has thrown 89 innings of work, giving up 31 runs, 29 of those earned on 78 hits, 31 walks, and 75 strikeouts on the year for Frodden. The lineup for the Beach Bums that he'll face looks like this. They'll lead off with center fielder Marcus Dirks. Batting second in left field, Ryan Bacher. Hitting third, designated hitter Jose Vargas. Batting fourth at shortstop, Will Kenger. Hitting fifth at third base, Elijah Trail. Batting sixth at second base, Stephen Patterson. Batting seventh and playing at first base, Giancarlo Bergoni. Hitting eighth and catching, Kendall Patrick. And batting ninth in right field is Jeff Debut. On the mound, as you saw, Michael Shreves. Shreves enters this one with a record of 2-7 and a 5.51 ERA. Stepping to lead things off here in the bottom of the first is the center fielder Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far on the year is hitting .244, 1 home run, and 16 RBIs. Bottom of the first, no score between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Frodden has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's taken outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Frodden falling behind the first man he faces here in the first inning. Last start, not a very good one for Matt Frodden. In fact, his worst of his Frontier League career. Here's the 1-0. And this ball popped foul off to the left. Alvaro Gonzalez giving chase over there by the stands. And he's going to run out of room as that'll fall into the first row of seats. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Last time out for Frodden. Gave up 5 earned runs. And that is the most earned runs he's given up in a start in his Frontier League career. Prior to that, he'd given up 4 earned runs or less in every start, every game he's appeared in. It was his first time giving up more than 5 in a ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's Frodden's pitch. Dirks showing bunt, gets this one down. Alvaro Gonzalez charging, bare hands, and he's not going to have a play at first. Very nicely placed bunt there by Marcus Dirks, and he reaches to lead things off in the bottom of the first. So both teams getting their leadoff man on in the first inning. And that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far on the year is hitting .265 with 1 home run and 25 RBIs. Nobody out top of the or bottom of the first. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Bacher batting left-handed against the righty Matt Frodden. Marcus Dirks, the leadoff man on base for Traverse City. Alvaro Gonzalez playing in on the grass for the Wild Things defensively. Frodden has his sign, checks first, and the pitch. And this ball popped foul off to the left. That'll get back into the seats, foul. And the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Last time Frodden was out on the mound, threw a bunch of pitches in the ball game. Threw 115 pitches before being pulled after 5 2/3 innings of work. So look to get more efficient here in this ball game tonight. When he's efficient in the head, he's been very good this season. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And a check swing foul by Bacher goes into the Beach Bums dugout, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Ryan Bacher. Nobody out in the bottom of the first as Marcus Dirks reached on a bunt single to lead things off here in this ball game. Matt Frodden looking into Kyle Pollock. Frodden going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-2 offering. And this ball's just outside, off the outside corner. Count goes to 1-2. Frodden tried to get Bacher to chase out there, but Bacher not going. 2 starts ago, Matt Frodden set his career high with 8 strikeouts. That was against, the River City Rascals in a win. Here's the 1-2, and that one's low for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count even up here to Ryan Bacher. 3 pitch at bat for Frodden to start the game before Marcus Dirks reached on his bunt single. Dirks over there at first takes his lead. Frodden checks him as he holds at the belt. And the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And this one's just above the letters, and the count will go full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Frodden not missing by much on that fastball. Tried to hit the top of the zone and just missed the letters on Ryan Bacher. 3-2, nobody out. Marcus Dirks at first. The on-deck man, Jose Vargas. Frodden has his sign. He's set. And the 3-2 offering. Dirks takes off for second. This pitch is low, however, so it'll be a walk here to Ryan Bacher. First two men have reached against Matt Frodden. Traverse City runners at first and second with nobody out, and that brings Jose Vargas to the plate. Vargas so far on the year hitting .310, 12 home runs, and 43 RBIs. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first. First two men reaching here against Matt Frodden in this first inning, so Frodden looking to work out of trouble early on. Frodden has his sign. He's set. Checks second, and the pitch on the way. And Vargas takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes, and that'll put Kyle Pollock out of the crouch, and he'll go to talk to his starter, Matt Frodden. Now, as we said, Frodden's start last time out, the worst of his Frontier League career, gave up a career-high 5 earned runs in the ball game against the Lake Erie Crushers. Went 5 2/3, walked 5 in the game, which is also the highest he's walked this season. His career high for walks in a game is actually 5, tied that career high in his last start. So far a walk here today as he looks to settle things down in the bottom of the first. Nobody out. Right men on first and second for Traverse City. Here's Frodden's 1-0. This ball grounded towards the middle. Jamadric Magruder handles it. The second for 1 on to first, and just what Matt Frodden needed as he gets the double play, 4-6-3, and now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the first and a runner at third. That'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far on the year for the Beach Bums, hitting .293, 7 home runs, and 40 RBIs. Just what Matt Frodden needed, a bouncing ball to second base. Magruder able to handle that one and flip to second to Wobrock, and then Wobrock, the return throw to first, was in time to get the double play. Frodden checks his runner at third. Here's the pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Will Kenger, batting in the number 4 spot. You don't normally see a shortstop in the cleanout spot, but Kenger, one of those rare shortstops with power. Frodden checks third, and the 1-0. And a swing and a miss there at a ball in the dirt by Will Kenger. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Kenger's 7 home runs are good for third on the team behind Giancarlo Bergoni, who has 9, and Jose Vargas and Steven Patterson each tied with 12 on the season. Matt Frodden looking in, has his sign. He's set, checks third, and the 1-1. And this ball hit towards left field. Going back a couple of steps is Andrew Heck, now camping under it, and he'll make the catch. That's in time for out number 3. So no runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 1 inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things, Andrew Heck would start things off with a double, drove it deep to the left center field gap to get on second with nobody out, but then Chris Grayson popped out, Ricky Rodriguez grounded out, and Dave Popkins popped out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Jimmy Yezzo, Alvaro Gonzalez, and Kyle Pollock, 5, 6, and 7, facing off against Michael Shreves. Shreves a 10-pitch first inning, so pretty efficient in that first half, allowing just the man to second, and then retiring the last 3 Wild Things he faced. Making his way to the plate right now, first baseman Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in the year, hitting .227, 10 home runs, and 32 RBIs. Drove in his 32nd run of the year in Game 2 of that doubleheader that tied the game against the Windy City Thunderbolts. Yezzo stepping in his first game starting since his ankle injury suffered on Thursday night against the Lake Erie Crushers. Back in there at first base here tonight wearing a protective guard around his ankle. Here's the pitch. And Yezzo lines this one to right field. Coming on is Jeff Debut, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 1. So Yezzo hitting that one very hard, but unfortunately right to the Beach Bums defender, and there's 1 up, 1 down for your Wild Things here in the top of the second. That'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far in the year is hitting .278, no home runs, and 5 RBIs, playing playing in just his 6th game as a Washington Wild Thing. 5 for 18 to start his Wild Things career. Here's the pitch, and Gonzalez takes this one for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, so after that very efficient first inning, Michael Shreves getting a first pitch out here in the second. Has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And this one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Alvaro Gonzalez, batting right-handed against the right-hander Michael Shreves. Defense for Traverse City playing straight up against Gonzalez. Here's the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there on a pitch low and outside. The count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on the Wild Things third baseman. Alvaro Gonzalez has been playing third for most of his Wild Things career. 1 game at DH as Ricky Rodriguez assumes that role today. The 1-2, and that one's in the dirt. Gonzalez able to lay off of that one, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Alvaro Gonzalez first taste of professional baseball as he came to the Wild Things out of the University of New Mexico Highlands. Michael Shreves looking into his catcher, Kendall Patrick. Shreves has his sign, the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Alvaro Gonzalez strikes out, and that's out number 2 here in the top of the second. First strikeout of the day for Michael Shreves, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far in the year is hitting .252, 2 home runs, and 12 RBIs. 2 men out here in the top of the second. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums with Kyle Pollock at the plate. Shreves has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Pollock checks his swing and takes this one on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things catcher, batting right-handed against the right-hander Michael Shreves. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 10-pitch inning for Shreves in the first. So far only 6 pitches before Kyle Pollock's at bat needed to get through this inning. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And Pollock takes this one for a strike, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one hitting the outside corner. Michael Shreves using that fastball a lot here early on. Shreves has his sign, the 1-2 offering. And that one's in the dirt, blocked by Kendall Patrick. Couldn't get Pollock to chase on that breaking ball, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on the Wild Things catcher. Kyle Pollock has started every game since the second game of the doubleheader in River City back on August the 6th. Shreves has his sign, the 2-2, and that one's low for a ball, so the count will go full now to Kyle Pollock. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Jamadric Magruder is the on-deck man for the Wild Things if Kyle Pollock can reach. Shreves looks in, has his sign. He said, here's the 3-2 offering. And this one lined to the left field line, just foul past third baseman not Jose Vargas out there. Third baseman Elijah Trail. 3-2, 2 men out as the Traverse City bullpen will go to retrieve that baseball. Bullpens here at Werfel Park are out of the field of play. They're beyond a little wall there on either side of foul territory. One of the few bullpens that aren't in the field of play here in the Frontier League. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 3-2. And that one's way inside for ball 4. Pollock having to turn out of the way of that one. So with 2 men out, the Wild Things get a runner on here in the top of the second. And that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Magruder so far in the year hitting .194, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs. 2 men out top of the second. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Game 1 of this 3-game series here at Werfel Park. Shreves has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Magruder pops this one up. Shallow right field, drifting over to right center now is Marcus Dirks. Dirks under it, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning on no hits, no errors, and a man left on after the walk. After 1.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the second, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Marcus Dirks would single to lead things off, and Ryan Bacher would walk to put runners at first and second with nobody out. Then Jose Vargas grounded into a big 4-6-3 double play that put 2 outs and a runner at third before Will Kendra would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Elijah Trail, Stephen Patterson, and Giancarlo Bergoni. 5, 6, and 7 against Matt Frodden. Last inning for Matt Frodden. Started out with a little bit of trouble, but was able to work out of it with that big double play from Jose Vargas. We'll look to have another good inning here in inning number 2. The Wild Things return home this Friday, August 19th. They'll take on the Schaumburg Boomers at 7:05. It is a fireworks night at Consol Energy Park. 2 more fireworks nights left, so be sure to come out and see a great fireworks show after the game Friday, August 19th at 7:05. Making a way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the second, Elijah Trail. Trail so far in the year for the Traverse City Beach Bums, hitting .252, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs out there at third base for Traverse City. Jose Vargas had been handling the third base duties for Traverse City last time the Wild Things were in town, but Vargas moved to the DH role as Traverse City acquired Elijah Trail from the Normal Corn Belters. Matt Frodden has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Trail takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Traverse City third baseman for Matt Frodden. Likes to work ahead, falling behind a little bit here early on. Here's the 1-0, and that one's high as well. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Frodden and Cunningham are tied for the team lead in wins. Each have 5 on the year. Frodden's .293 ERA, good for second on the team behind Zach Groats. Here's the 2-0, and that one's in there for a called strike hitting the knees, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count with Trevor Foss being picked up by the Cleveland Indians. Matt Frodden turns into your ace for the Wild Things staff. Here's the 2-1, and a check swing by Trail, but takes this one low for a ball, so the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count. Frodden's already walked one man today, walked Ryan Bacher back in the first inning. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 3-1. And this ball lined to the left and foul into the seats over there. Watch out in the stands. And the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. On deck for Traverse City is the second baseman, Stephen Patterson. Frodden set, and the 3-2 offering. And that one's just off the outside corner of the plate, ball 4. So it's a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the second. As for the second straight inning, Traverse City will have their leadoff man on against Matt Frodden. That brings to the plate the second baseman, Stephen Patterson. Patterson so far in the year hitting .307, 12 home runs, and 53 RBIs. Leadoff man reaches for the second straight inning, so Matt Frodden right back to the stretch here against these Traverse City Beach Bums. See if he can get out of traffic on the base paths again here in the second inning. Frodden looks in, has his sign, checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. And that ball's outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Frodden just missing these corners. He's not missing by much in the zone, but it's just enough where the Traverse City Beach Bums aren't swinging at these pitches. Frodden has his sign. He's set, and the 1-0 offering. And this ball popped foul back behind the Traverse City dugout on the third base side, and the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Beautiful sunny skies here in Traverse City, Michigan. There's not a cloud in sight. There is a chance of rain for tomorrow and Thursday night's game. We'll see. We have a beautiful day for baseball here tonight. Frodden has his sign. He's set, and the 1-1. Go over to first, and getting back over there is Elijah Trail. Now, Trail hasn't been with Traverse City all year long as he was acquired from the Normal Corn Belters, but so far in his Traverse career, no stolen bases in 31 games played for the Beach Bums. Frodden has his sign. He's set, the 1-1. This ball popped foul off to the left, back into the seats, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 now here on the Traverse City second baseman, Stephen Patterson. We've seen him in all 6 matchups between these two teams. He's been out there a mainstay at second base. His 12 home runs, good for a tie of first place on the team. He is tied with Jose Vargas, the DH. Frodden looks in, has his sign. He's set at the belt, and the 1-2 offering. And Patterson pops this one up. Foul territory off to the left. Gonzalez and Heck giving chase. Heck coming in, and he's not going to be able to get there to make the catch. It'll fall harmlessly in foul territory, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Matt Frodden, Stephen Patterson battling here at the plate. Patterson batting left-handed against the righty Matt Frodden. The runner at first Elijah Trail. Trail walked to lead off the inning. Matt Frodden back on the mound, looking into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. This ball lined into right field, and that'll fall in front of Dave Popkins for a base hit. Rounding second, heading to third, Elijah Trail. Here's the throw from Popkins, and it's not in time, and moving up on that throw is Steven Patterson, so it's a double for Patterson, and now there are runners at second and third for the Beach Bums with nobody out here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni so far on the year is hitting .209, 9 home runs, and 23 RBIs. And now Matt Frodden in trouble here in the bottom of the second. Runners are at second and third. Nobody out here in this ball game, and the infield will come in at the corners at least for the Wild Things. Jezzo and Gonzalez playing in on the grass. Middle infielders playing back at their normal positions. Frodden has his sign. Checks the runner at third. Here's the pitch. And Bergoni takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums first baseman. Giancarlo Bergoni has not seen him yet this year, as he was signed the last time the Wild Things were here, but Christian Santisteban got most of the action at first. The 0-1, and that one's in there as well, this time hitting the inside corner, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Giancarlo Bergoni. Runners at second and third for the Beach Bums. Nobody out. Elijah Trail at third. Steven Patterson at second. Frodden has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's a called strike 3. Giancarlo Bergoni strikes out. A big out number 1 for Matt Frodden here in the bottom of the second. It's Frodden's first strikeout of the day, and that'll bring to the plate the catcher, Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far on the year hitting .230, 3 home runs, and 12 RBIs on the season. Runners are still at second and third now with 1 man out in this bottom of the second inning. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Elijah Trail started this inning off of a walk, and Steven Patterson doubled. He's at second. Frodden has his sign, the pitch, and this one way up and in here on Kendall Patrick, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Want to know the count? Matt Frodden's first strikeout of the year. Struck out 7 batters against the Lake Erie Crushers, which is good for second in his career. 8 strikeouts is his career high. Here's Frodden's 1-0, and a swing and a miss there. The ball gets away from Kyle Pollock. Not too far, however, as he gets to it quickly, and that runner stays where he is at third base. Nice job by Kyle Pollock hustling over to that ball as it got away from him a little bit. It rolled up the first base line. Matt Frodden darting for home plate, and Pollock getting there quickly kept Elijah Trail where he is at third base. The infield comes in for the Wild Things now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 man out. Runners at second and third for Traverse City. Frodden looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at third and the 1-1. And this one's low for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on the Traverse City Beach Bums catcher. Kendall Patrick was on the disabled list last time we were here in Traverse City. Gabby Warby was the primary catcher. Now Patrick is back in his starting role, and Warby is the backup. Frodden has his sign, checks third, and the 2-1. And a swing and a miss there by Kendall Patrick. Count now going to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Frodden able to get Kendall Patrick to chase on that curveball on the outside corner. With Frodden, you see a nice fastball changeup mix. He also throws in a curve and a slider every now and then that fools opposing hitters. Frodden has his sign. He's set. Checks Trail at third, and the 2-2. And this one bounces up to the plate. Pollock able to get in front of that one. The count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Jeff Debut, the number 9 hitter on deck for the Traverse City Beach Bums. 1 man out, bottom of the second. This would be a huge strikeout if Matt Frodden would be able to get it and keep the runners right where they are at second and third. Elijah Trail, the runner at third. Steven Patterson, the runner at second. They take their leads. Frodden holds at the belt, and the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one's low ball force. Third walk of the day for Matt Frodden, as that'll now load the bases with Traverse City Beach Bums here with 1 man out, and that'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Jeff Debut. Debut so far on the year is hitting .222 with 1 home run and 23 RBIs. Bases loaded for the Traverse City Beach Bums. 1 out, bottom of the second, as Matt Frodden now looking for a ground ball. Frodden has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Debut pops this one up. Foul territory off to the left. Andrew Heck coming in. Austin Warbrock will call him off. Warbrock makes the catch, and it's too close to the infield for anybody to score, so that's a big out number 2 for Matt Frodden. Warbrock running over there into foul territory off to the left. Heck and Alvaro Gonzalez were both coming in on it, but Warbrock able to take charge, call for the ball, and make the catch for out number 2. That brings to the plate the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far 1 for 1 with a single in this ball game. Now, last time out for Traverse City, they had to play a doubleheader on Sunday, just like the Wild Things did against the Joliet Slammers. Frodden looking in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Marcus Dirks. Dirks takes this one high and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, 2 outs, bases loaded here with Traverse City Beach Bums. 0-0 score between your Wild Things and the Beach Bums. Frodden holds at the belt, checks Trail at third, the 1-0. This one grounded towards the middle, and that's a base hit. Elijah Trail will score. Coming around third is Stephen Patterson. Here's the throw, and they don't get him. It's not in time. Yet Patterson scores as well. It's 2-0 Beach Bums here in the bottom of the second on the RBI double by Marcus Dirks. Dirks' second hit of the game as the Beach Bums take the lead. Both Trail and Patterson coming in to score on that play. Moving up to third is Kendall Patrick, and Marcus Dirks gets into second. That brings to the plate the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far, no official at-bat here in this one. And in Game 2 of Traverse City's doubleheader with the Joliet Slammers, Ryan Bacher ended up going 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, scored a run, and struck out in the ball game. 2-0 Beach Bums here in the bottom of the second. Frodden has his sign, checks the man at third. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss there. The ball gets slightly away from Kyle Pollock, but he'll get to it quickly, and that keeps that runner Patrick right where he is at third. So count goes to 1 ball, or no balls and a strike, excuse me. 0-1 the count here on Ryan Bacher. Runner at third is Kendall Patrick. Runner at second, Marcus Dirks. Dirks coming through with the 2 RBI double that's given the Beach Bums the lead here early on against your Wild Things. Matt Frodden looking into Kyle Pollock, has his signee set. Checks Patrick at third. Here's the 0-1. And this one's on the outside corner for a strike, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out, bottom of the second. 2-0 Beach Bums lead here in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Matt Frodden trying to get through this second inning, limiting the damage to just 2 runs. Frodden going through his signs, has one. He's set, holds at the belt. Checks the runner at third. Here's the 0-2. And this one bounces up to the plate. Pollock able to block that one, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Pollock very good defensively behind the plate for the Washington Wild Things. Blocks pitches at a very good rate and throws out a bunch of base runners on the base paths. Matt Frodden looking in. Runners at second and third. They take their leads. Frodden holds at the belt. Checks Patrick at third, and the 1-2 offering. And that one's just below the knees. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Ryan Bacher. 2-0 Traverse City leads here in the bottom of the second. Marcus Dirks, the big 2 RBI double, bringing in the runs here in the inning. Frodden looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks Patrick at third, and the 2-2. And this one bounces to the plate as well, so the count will now go full 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Matt Frodden's already walked 3 here in this outing, and his last 2 starts have been very wild. Walked 5 men, 1 start ago, picking up his 6th loss of the year, and today has already walked 3 so far. His career high for walks in a game is 5, just like he set last time against Lake Erie. He also did it 1 other time in his career. Here's the 3-2, and that one's outside, ball 4. 4th walk of the day for Matt Frodden. That'll once again load the bases here for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Still 2 men out, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 0 for 1, hitting a 4-6-3 double play in inning number 1. Bases full of Traverse City Beach Bums here. 2 men out, bottom of the second. 2-0 Traverse City leads, and if you're Matt Frodden, you want to try to get out of this one right here, right now. Kyle Pollock out there talking to him, trying to calm him down. This inning started with a walk to Elijah Trail, and Stephen Patterson would double. Giancarlo Bergoni struck out. Kendall Patrick walked to load the bases. Then Jeff Dubuque popped out for the second out of the inning. Marcus Dirks then came through with the 2 RBI double, and now Ryan Bacher walked. He's at first. So Kendall Patrick at third, Dirks at second, and Bacher at first. Here's Frodden's pitch. That one swung on and missed by Vargas. Gets in the dirt, slowly rolls away from Pollock, but he gets to it quickly, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jose Vargas. 2 men out, bottom of the second. Bases loaded for Traverse City. Matt Frodden trying to work through it. Frodden looking in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks his runner at third, and the 0-1. And a swing and a miss there by Vargas again, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out. Frodden would love to end this inning right here. This is the 8th man that's come to the plate against Matt Frodden in this ball game. Kendall Patrick at third, Marcus Dirks at second, Ryan Bacher at first. Frodden has his sign, and the 0-2. And that one's just off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Frodden thought he had strike 3 there, was about to walk off the mound, but then got the ball back from the home plate umpire and walked back on. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 offering. And a swing and a miss. Frodden strikes him out, and that ends the inning. But not before the Beach Bums get 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. After 2 innings of play, the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things, Jimmy Yezzo flew out to start things, then Alvaro Gonzalez would strike out. Kyle Pollock walked with 2 men out to put a runner on before Jamadric Magruder flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Austin Wobrock, Andrew Heck, and Chris Grayson facing off against Michael Shreves. Now, Shreves, his last time out was against Windy City on August the 10th. In that ballgame, he went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned on 4 hits, walked 1, and did not strike anybody out, losing that ball game and falling to 2-7 on the year. So gave up a lot of runs, did not go very far in that ball game, and picked up the loss. Today, so far, through 2 innings, has only given up 1 hit. That was the leadoff double to Andrew Heck. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the third is the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far on the year is hitting .218, 1 home run, and 15 RBIs on the season. Wobrock stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the third against Michael Shreves. Wobrock batting back in that number 9 spot. In game 1 of the doubleheader, he played and batted in the 2-hole for the Wild Things. Did not play in game 2. Here's the pitch, and Wobrock takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things trying to get on the board here in the top of the third. 2-0 Traverse City leads. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 1-0 offering. And Wobrock lining this one to right field, and that'll fall in for a base hit. Leadoff single for Austin Wobrock. Second time the Wild Things have had their leadoff man on in this game. And there's a runner at first with nobody out, and that brings to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this one, 1 for 1. Doubled in his first at-bat. And in game 2 of that doubleheader in Windy City yesterday, he would lead off and would end up going 2 for 4 with a double, a single, and reach on a fielder's choice, also grounded in to a fielder's choice. Michael Shreves has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Heck takes this one outside for a ball. 1 no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things get their leadoff man on here in the top of the third. Leadoff single by Austin Wobrock. He's over there at first. Wobrock takes his lead. Shreves looking in. Has his sign. Holds at the belt. And a throw over there. And Austin Wobrock gets back in safely. Wobrock on the year. 6 stolen bases. Good for second on the team. He is tied with the current batter, Andrew Heck. 1 no strikes. Nobody out, top of the third. Shreves has his sign. Holds at the belt. And the 1-0. And Heck pops this one up to the right side. That'll get back into the seats behind the Wild Things bullpen, foul, and the count goes to 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Andrew Heck's been turning it on lately at the plate. Has a hit in each of his last 4 games for the Washington Wild Things. Has been working on that in batting practice. Was down on the field with the team on Saturday night before their game with Windy City, and Heck was working on driving the ball to the gap, and lately it's been working. Here's the 1-1. And that one's a called strike, just at the knees and on the outside corner. And the count goes to 1 strikes. 1-2 here on Andrew Heck. Nobody out, top of the third. 2-0 Traverse City leads. Michael Shreves checks first, has his sign, holds at the belt, and the 1-2. And a swing and a foul ball. And it's into the glove of the catcher, Kendall Patrick. So that's a strikeout for Michael Shreves. And out number 1 for the Washington Wild Things here in the top of the third. Second strikeout for Shreves in the game, and that brings up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson, so far today, 0 for 1. Did not play in either game of the doubleheader against the Windy City Thunderbolts as Andrew Heck was out in center field. The left fielder for game 2 was Justin Garcia. Garcia went 1 for 2, drove in his first Wild Things RBI, singled and struck out in the game. Throw to first, and Wolbrock gets in there once again. Grayson back in there in the number 2 spot, getting a day off Sunday in the doubleheader. Michael Shreves looks in, has his sign, holds at the belt, and the pitch on the way to Grayson. And Grayson takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Shreves has been getting ahead of a lot of your Washington Wild Things here early on in this ball game, and that's what's been leading to his success. Wolbrock takes his lead from first. Shreves has his sign, the 0-1, and Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Shreves has been pretty efficient early on. 10 pitches in the first, 14 in inning number 2. Shreves set, and the 1-1 offering. And Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. Shreves falling behind the Wild Things center fielder here. Wild Things trying to push a run across here in the third after a 2 RBI double by Marcus Dirks, the center fielder for Traverse City. Put Traverse City ahead 2-0 in this game. Shreves has his sign, the 2-1, and that one's low for a ball, and the count now swells to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. 1 man out, top of the third. Runner at first, Austin Wolbrock. Wolbrock singled to lead off this inning. Wolbrock takes his lead. Bergoni holding him on. Shreves has his sign, the 3-1. And Grayson lining this one to right field. Debut coming on, and he's going to make the catch on this one, and that's in time for out number 2. Getting back to first base is Austin Wolbrock. There are now 2 outs here in this top of the third, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 0 for 1. In game 2 of Sunday's doubleheader, Rodriguez ended up going 0 for 3, hit a sacrifice fly, reached into a fielder's choice, and struck out twice in the ballgame. 2 men out top of the third, 2-0 Traverse City leads. Shreves has his sign, he's set, here's the pitch. Throw over to first, and Wolbrock getting back in there. Shreves keeping a close eye on Austin Wolbrock there at first base. We said 6 stolen bases on the year. He led off this inning with a single. Shreves has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Rodriguez. This ball's inside, and the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 here on Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez, since the signing of Alvaro Gonzalez, has been seeing more and more time as a designated hitter as Gonzalez has transitioned into the third baseman role. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 1-0, and a swing and a miss there by Rodriguez. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things designated hitter. Austin Wolbrock at first. 2 men out in this top of the third. Shreves looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1 offering. And Rodriguez hits this one to center field. Marcus Dirks going back on it a couple of steps, now drifting towards the track, and he'll make the catch. And that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning for your Wild Things on just 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 2.5, the score, Traverse City Beach Bums 2, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third, and the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums. They got both runs in this ball game. Elijah Trail walked to lead things off, then a double by Stephen Patterson put runners at second and third with nobody out. Giancarlo Bergoni would then strike out, and Kendall Patrick would walk to load the bases with 1 man out. Jeff Debut then popped out into foul territory just beyond the third base bag for the second out of the inning before Marcus Dirks came through with a 2 RBI double. Both Elijah Trail and Stephen Patterson came in to score, and the Traverse City Beach Bums took a 2-0 lead. Then Ryan Bacher would walk to load the bases once again before Jose Vargas struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Will Kenger, Elijah Trail, and Stephen Patterson against Matt Frodden. Now, Frodden last time, as we said, against the Lake Erie Crushers, went 5 2/3. He got 5 runs, all earned. The most earned runs he's given up in a ball game in his Frontier League career, on 4 hits, 5 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And it was really the walks that killed him in last start. So far today, 4 walks as he'll look to calm things down. Stepping to the plate to lead things off here in the third, shortstop Will Kenger. Kenger so far in the day is 0 for 1, flew out in his first at-bat. In Game 2 of that doubleheader, Kenger ended up going 1 for 4 with a run scored. First pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Frodden falling behind Kenger, 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums shortstop. Frodden has his sign, the 1-0. And a swing and a miss there by Kenger this time, and a ball up, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Will Kenger has started all 6 games at shortstop for the Traverse City Beach Bums between these two teams. That season series tied at 3 games apiece. Here's the 1-1, and this one fouled off back into the seats. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. It's been the team that's been at home that has been the more fortunate team in the season series. When they were back in Consol Energy Park in early May, the Wild Things took 2 out of 3, and then back here at Werfel Park, the Wild Things lost 2 out of 3 to Traverse City. There's a swing and a miss, and Kenger strikes out. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the third. Second strikeout of the day for Matt Frodden. 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far in the game, no official at-bat. Walked and scored a run last inning against Matt Frodden. Elijah Trail in Game 2 of that doubleheader was the designated hitter. Went 1 for 2 with an RBI, walked, and also struck out in the ball game. Frodden has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this ball popped up on the infield behind home plate now. Pollock giving chase back to the screen, and he's going to run out of room as that one will fall into the stands, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Elijah Trail as he pops that one up back behind home plate into the second row of seats. Pollock giving it a chase all he could as it hit back off the screen, or excuse me, he went back to the screen, and the ball hit into the stands. No balls and a strike, 1 man out. Matt Frodden on the hill. He retired the first man here in this inning. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And this one swung on and missed by Elijah Trail. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums third baseman. As we said, he played for the Normal Corn Belters earlier in the year, was released, and then the Traverse City Beach Bums picked him up. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 0-2 offering. And Trail takes this one just low for a ball. Frodden couldn't get the chase below the knees, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 man out here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Traverse City leads. Frodden has his side. Here's the 1-2. And this one swung on and missed. Frodden strikes him out. First 2 outs in the inning coming via the strikeout. Third strikeout of the day for Frodden. And now there are 2 gone here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Traverse City leads. And that brings to the plate the second baseman, Stephen Patterson. Patterson so far 1 for 1 with a double. Also scored a run last inning. And Patterson in Game 2 of that doubleheader on Sunday went 2 for 4. Scored 2 runs in the ball game as well. 2 men out, bottom of the third. 2-0 Traverse City leads over your Wild Things. Here's Frodden's pitch. And Patterson takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on the top of the third. Frodden struck out each of the first 2 men he's faced here in this inning. Has his sign. He's set in the 1-0. And Patterson takes this one high for a ball. Count now going to 2 balls and no strikes. So Frodden retiring the first 2 men he's faced here in this inning via the strikeout, falling behind the third man here in this inning. Frodden has his sign. He's set in the 2-0. And that one's on the inside corner for a strike. Count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Stephen Patterson, batting from the left side against the righty Matt Frodden. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And this ball grounded to third. Alvaro Gonzalez will handle it. He throws across to first, and that's in time for out number 3. So 1-2-3 go the Beach Bums here in the third. And after 3 innings of play, the score, Traverse City Beach Bums 2, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store, and coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. The little ones need a break? Head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fourth, and the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things. Austin Wobrock would single to lead things off, then Andrew Heck struck out, Chris Grayson flew out, and Ricky Rodriguez flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth, Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, and Alvaro Gonzalez, 4, 5, and 6, facing off against Michael Shreves. Now for Shreves on the mound, does have some experience around professional baseball, as he played in the American Association for Laredo, went 5-3 with a 5.60 ERA in 64 and a third innings of work for Laredo. Then this is his second year with Traverse City, 2015, went 7-2 with a 3.21 ERA in 21 games. And so far here in 2016, 2-7 with a 5.51 ERA. Shreves has been around independent baseball, undrafted out of the University of Montevallo in Alabama. Dave Popkins stepping in to lead things off. Popkins so far 0 for 1 here in this contest. Shreves has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Popkins hits this one to right field and deep. Debut going back towards the track, nearing the wall, and exit stays right. A solo home run by Dave Popkins, and the Wild Things cut the lead in half. It's now 2-1 Beach Bums. Dave Popkins' 12th home run of the year, and when you need an attorney to hit one out of the park for you, yo, Keith. That home run brought to you by Keith Owen Campbell, attorney at law. Dave Popkins' team leading 12th home run of the year. It's now 2-1 Beach Bums as Popkins takes that first pitch out, and that'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 0 for 1 in game 2 of that doubleheader, pinch hit and drove in an RBI single. Here's the pitch from Shreves, and Yezzo takes that one in the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jimmy Yezzo. Nobody out, top of the fourth, and 2-1 Traverse City leads. Here's the 0-1 offering. That one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Shreves a mistake pitch to start the inning. Threw a fastball right down the middle, and Popkins not going to miss that as he crushed it over the right field wall. Shreves has his sign, the 1-1. Yezzo grounds this one foul past the first base coaching box, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, the third hit of the day for the Washington Wild Things. That solo home run by Dave Popkins. His team leading 12th. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And Yezzo hits this one to shallow left field. Marcus Dirks flipping over into left center field. He'll call everyone off and make the catch, and that's out number 1. One away for the Wild Things here in the top of the fourth. 2-1 the score. The Traverse City Beach Bums lead. And that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far on the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout in game 2 of that doubleheader. Gonzalez ended up going 1 for 3, grounded out in the second, tripled in the fourth, and struck out in inning number 6. Shreves has his sign. He said, here's the pitch. And Gonzalez grounds this one to short. Kendra will handle it over there, throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. So following the solo home run by Dave Popkins, next 2 Wild Things retired. There are now 2 outs here in the top of the fourth, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far, no official at-bat. He walked his first time up, and in game 2 of that doubleheader, Pollock would end up going 0 for 2, grounded out, and into a fielder's choice in that ball game. 2 men out, top of the fourth. Shreves has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Pollock takes this one in the dirt for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Michael Shreves giving up the solo home run to Dave Popkins earlier in this inning. That brought in the first run of the game for your Washington Wild Things. Shreves standing in there at 6'3", 205 pounds. He is 25 years old. Here's the 1-0. And this one grounded to the left side, through the hole on the left side, and that's a base hit for Pollock. So Pollock reaches base now with 2 men out. Runner at first for the Wild Things. And that brings to the plate the second baseman, Jamadrick Magruder. Magruder so far 0 for 1, flew out in inning number 2. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth, 2-1 the score. Traverse City leads over your Washington Wild Things. Run coming in the inning for the Wild Things on the solo home run by Dave Popkins. Magruder stepping in with 2 men out and a runner at first. Michael Shreves has his sign. He's set, checks first in the pitch. Magruder showing bunt. He'll pull back and take this one low and inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Traverse City in their blue alternate jerseys with yellow sleeves. Wild Things in their red alternates with the white letters. The 1-0, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Jamadric Magruder. 2 outs, top of the fourth. Runner at first, Kyle Pollock. He singled with 2 men out after Dave Popkins hit the solo homer to lead off the inning. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 2-0, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count now going to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Jamadric Magruder, playing in 3 straight games now for the Washington Wild Things, was recovering from a hamstring injury that he suffered on 2 Sundays ago in Florence. Here's the 2-1, and this one lined into right field. Debut coming on, and he's not going to make the catch. Pollock had to wait to see if that one was going to drop, so he's going to stop at second, and that'll put runners at first and second for the Wild Things with 2 men out, bringing up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 1 for 1 with a single in Game 2 of the doubleheader against Windy City. Austin Wobrock did not start, came as a pinch runner for Jimmy Yezzo after his RBI single, and then played the field for the bottom of inning number 7. So Wobrock back in the starting lineup here today. 1 for 1 with that single so far. Runners at first and second for the Wild Things. 2 outs, top of the fourth. 2-1 the score. Shreves has his sign, checks the runner at second and the pitch. And Wobrock takes this one in the dirt for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. It gets away from Patrick, and that'll allow Kyle Pollock to move up to third. Jamadric Magruder stays where he is at first base. Now, Patrick initially had control of that ball, but it rolled out in front of home plate. Kyle Pollock saw an opportunity, and he got into third now, so there are runners at first and third with 2 men out and a 1-0 count to Austin Wobrock. 2-1, Traverse City leads over your Washington Wild Things. Looking in is Michael Shreves. Shreves going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. And Wobrock takes this one outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. After that solo home run, Michael Shreves got the next 2 outs rather easily. A 4-pitch at-bat to Jimmy Yezzo, and then a 1-pitch ground out for Alvaro Gonzalez. But right now, two-out singles and in trouble with Wobrock. The 2-0, and that one's outside as well. Count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop. 2 men out as he tries to reach base. Shreves in danger of loading the bases now with 2 away. Kyle Pollock, the runner at third. Jamadric Magruder at first. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 3-0. And that one's outside, ball 4, so it's a 4-pitch walk here to Austin Wobrock. That'll load the bases for the Wild Things with 2 men out. And that brings to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far 1 for 2, doubled in the first, and struck out in inning number 3. Heck, a big spot here with 2 outs in the top of the fourth. Wild Things bases loaded as Heck will try to come through with a base hit to bring in at least 1 and tie this ball game. 2-1, Traverse City leads. Michael Shreves looking into his catcher, Kendall Patrick. Shreves has his sign, checks Pollock at third, and the pitch on the way. Heck takes this one low in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder. 2-1 the score. A run in the inning on the solo home run by Dave Popkins. Kyle Pollock, the runner at third. Jamadric Magruder at second. Austin Wobrock at first. Top of the fourth. Shreves has his sign. He's set. Checks Magruder and the 1-0. And Heck pops this one up, foul off to the right. That'll get back into the seats, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Count even here on Andrew Heck. Heck in the leadoff spot, as he has been for the last 2 weeks so far for the Wild Things. Has been doing very well in that position. Drove in 3 runs in the series against Windy City, and has been getting hits consistently. Has a hit in each of his last 5 games. Here's the 1-1, and Heck takes this one for a strike right at the knees, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on Andrew Heck. Michael Shreves trying to work out of this jam here in the top of the fourth. Bases loaded, 2 men out. As Andrew Heck digs back in here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Michael Shreves has his sign. He's set. Checks second, and the 1-2 offering. And this one grounded softly to short. Charging is the third baseman. Trailing, he bobbles it. Kyle Pollock will score, and Andrew Heck reaches base. This game is now tied at 2. A routine ground ball. Elijah Trail bobbles it there, coming over from the third base position. They're going to give a hit there to Andrew Heck, so it's an RBI single, and this game all tied at 2. Pollock comes in from third. Base is still loaded with Wild Things here with 2 men out. Pollock scores, Magruder to third, Wobrock to second, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 2. Popped out in the first and flew out in inning number 3. 2-2 the score here between your Wild Things and the Beach Bums. Shreves checks his runner at second. Here's the pitch. And Grayson pops this one foul off to the left behind the dugout, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Jamadric Magruder at third. Austin Wobrock at second. Andrew Heck at first. 2 runs in for the Wild Things. 1 on the solo home run by Popkins, and the last one on the RBI single by Andrew Andrew Heck, Shreves has his sign check second. Here's the 0-1. And Grayson to right field. That'll fall for a base hit. Magruder scores. Wobrock will be held at third. And the Wild Things now take the lead here in the top of the fourth. They lead 3-2 over the Traverse City Beach Bums. It's Chris Grayson's 13th RBI of the season. Wild Things score 3 here in the top of the second against starting pitcher Michael Shreves. That'll bring out to the plate, out to the mound, the pitching coach Jake Rhodes, as he'll discuss things with Michael Shreves. But the Wild Things get 2 runs in this inning with 2 outs. Their first run in the inning came on the solo home run by Dave Popkins. Popkins' 12th homer of the year. Then 2 straight outs. Jimmy Yezzo flew out. Alvaro Gonzalez grounded out before Kyle Pollock, Jamadric Magruder, and Austin Warbrock each reached base to load the bases. Andrew Heck then an RBI single to the third baseman Elijah Trail. Slow roller the Trail couldn't handle, and Chris Grayson came through with an RBI single to score the second run. So it's 3-2 Wild Things here in the top of the fourth. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate. Rodriguez so far 0 for 2. Grounded out in the first, flew out in inning number 3. The 9th man to come to the plate here for the Wild Things. They lead 3-2. Shreves looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one in the dirt, blocked by Kendall Patrick, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Wild Things designated hitter, one of 4 All-Stars for this Washington Wild Things team. Himself, Dave Popkins, Trevor Foss, now with the Cleveland Indians, and Zach Groats representing the team. Shreves has his sign checked second. Here's the 1-0. And Rodriguez a slow roll to third. Elijah Trail handles it, and he'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. But meanwhile, the Wild Things get 3 runs in the inning, courtesy of 5 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. After 3.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Traverse City Beach Bums 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the fourth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Traverse City Beach Bums 2. Wild Things getting 3 runs in that top of the fourth inning as they take the lead over Traverse City. Last inning for the Beach Bums, they would go 1-2-3. Will Kendrick struck out to start things, then Elijah Trail would strike out, and Stephen Patterson would ground out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth, Giancarlo Bergoni, Kendall Patrick, and Jeff W. 7, 8, and 9 facing off against Matt Frauden. Now stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth, the first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni so far on the day is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. In Game 2 of that doubleheader against the Joliet Slammers, Bergoni would end up going 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and also scored 2 runs on the day. 3-2, the Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums here at Werfel Park. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Frauden has his sign, the pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count? Matt Frauden, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks so far in this game. Frauden's 1-0 offering. And a check swing there as the home plate umpire says he went around, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, that strike being called there by Philip Pupillo. Frauden has his sign, the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there, blew the fastball by Bergoni, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bergoni, 9 home runs on the year for Traverse City, good for second behind Stephen Patterson and Jose Vargas, each have 12. Frauden has his sign, the 1-2 pitch, and that one bounces up to the plate, as Kyle Pollock taking that one off the mask, and the count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Bottom of the fourth, 3-2, your Washington Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Game 1 of this 3-game series here in Werfel Park at Traverse City, Michigan. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network. I'm Zach Ziegler. Here's the 2-2, and this one grounded foul off to the left, so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. For the Traverse City Beach Bums, coaching on the base paths at third base, manager Dan Ron, and over at first base is Jake Rhodes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Frauden looking in to his catcher Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. Here's the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Frodden strikes out Giancarlo Bergoni, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the fourth. Fifth strikeout of the day for Matt Frodden. That'll bring to the plate the catcher, Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far, no official at-bat, walked his first time up against Matt Frodden in Game 2 of that doubleheader against Joliet. Kendall Patrick ended up going 1 for 4 with an RBI on the day. One man out, bottom of the fourth. 3-2 Wild Things lead. Frodden has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Kendall Patrick. Matt Frodden settling down since that second inning, has since retired 5 straight Traverse City Beach Bums. Looking to keep that going here in this inning. Has his sign, the 1-0. And that one just hits that outside corner, and the count goes even at 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Matt Frodden coming back. As long as he pounds the strike zone here, he has the lead and stays confident. He should do well here in this ball game. Has his sign, the 1-1. And this ball popped up, foul off to the right. That'll hook back into the stands towards the kids' play area here at Werfel Park. And the count goes to 1 strikes. 1-2 here on Kendall Patrick. One man out, bottom of the fourth. Matt Frodden trying to get this second out here in the inning. Has his sign, he's set. Here's the 1-2. And this ball grounded to the right side, past the diving Yezo down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Kendall Patrick rounding first, and a strong throw in from Dave Popkins is going to hold him right there. So it's a 1-out single for Kendall Patrick as Traverse City has a man on, and that'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Jeff W. W so far 0 for 1. Popped out in his first at-bat, and in Game 2 of that doubleheader against Joliet, W would go 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored, would walk and strike out twice in the ball game. Jimmy Yezo giving it all he could at first base. It was just past his outstretched glove and down the line. Taking his lead is Kendall Patrick. Frodden's pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 no strikes. 1-0 the count. One man out here in the bottom of the fourth. 3-2 Wild Things lead. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Frodden looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes even at 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Matt Frodden's been trying to work the corners today. He's gotten a little better with his control than he was early on. Early on wasn't hitting those spots. Here in the fourth, hitting them so far. Has his sign, the 1-1. And this one swung on and missed a ball in the dirt by W, and the count goes to 1 strikes. 1-2 the count. 5 strikeouts on the day now for Matt Frodden. The 4 walks. Last time out, struck out 7, which is good for second most in his career. 8 strikeouts in a game is his high. That was against River City earlier this year. Frodden has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at first, and the 1 strike offering. And this one grounded softly up the middle. Handled by Jamadrick Magruder. Steps on second for 1. They're going to have no play at first, so it'll be a fielder's choice 4 unassisted as Kendall Patrick is eliminated at second base. Jeff W. replaces him at first, and there's a runner at first with 2 men out. That'll bring up the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far 2 for 2 on the day. Single in the first and hit a 2 RBI double in inning number 2. Drove in both runs of the game for the Traverse City Beach Bums. 3-2 Wild Things lead. 2 men out, bottom of the fourth. Runner at first is Jeff W. W just reached on that fielder's choice. Alvaro Gonzalez comes into the grass at third. Frodden has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this one in the dirt, blocked by Pollock, and the count goes to 1 no strikes. 1-0 the count. Here on Marcus Dirks. Dirks the leadoff man for Traverse City. Last time Wild Things were here in town, Dirks had just been signed by the Traverse City Beach Bums. Has since taken over the everyday center fielder role for Traverse City. Frodden has his sign, checks first. Here's the 1-0. Taking off for second is W. Pitch is called, strike, the throw, and they got him. Kyle Pollock gets the caught stealing, and that ends the inning. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. And after 4, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Traverse City Beach Bums 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 5th, and the score, Your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Traverse City Beach Bums 2. Wild Things getting all 3 runs in the top of the 4th inning. It all started off with Dave Popkins taking the first pitch of the inning over the right field wall. A solo home run, his 12th home run of the year. That made the score Traverse City 2 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Then Jimmy Yezzo flew out. Alvaro Gonzalez would ground out for the second out of the inning before Kyle Pollock and Jamadrick Magruder back-to-back singles, and Austin Wobrock would walk to load the bases with 2 men out. Andrew Heck then hit a soft roller to third base. Elijah Trail unable to handle it over there. Heck would reach. Kyle Pollock came in to score, and it was an RBI single for Heck. That tied the game at 2. And next batter, Chris Grayson, in a line drive into right field in front of right fielder Jeff Debut. That allowed Jamadrick Magruder to come home and gave the Wild Things a 3-2 lead before Ricky Rodriguez would ground out to end the inning. Due up here in the 5th will be Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, Alvaro Gonzalez, the same 3 who started last inning for the Washington Wild Things. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in this 5th inning, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 1 for 2 with that solo home run. The pitch, and Popkins hits this one to left center field. Marcus Dirks back to the track, and exit stage left. Dave Popkins' second home run of the day. Another solo shot, and your Wild Things lead this one 4-2. Popkins' 13th home run of the year, and when you need an attorney to hit one out of the park for you, yo, Keith. That home run brought to you by Keith Owen Campbell, attorney at law, for the second inning in a row. Dave Popkins taking the first pitch he sees and hitting it over the outfield wall, his 13th home run of the year, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 0 for 2. Shreves has his sign. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Yezzo, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Popkins' 13th home run of the year, second of the game. Here's the 0-1, and that one's low for a ball. Yezzo taking that one, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. The Wild Things starting the 5th the exact same way they started the 4th. Here's the 1-1, and Yezzo fouls this one off his hip, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 4-2 Wild Things lead here in the top of the 5th. Solo home run by Dave Popkins. His second home run of the game. His 13th of the year. Shreves has his sign. He's set the 1-2. And Yezzo takes this one up and in for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jimmy Yezzo's second on the team in the home run category. He has 10 homers on the year. His first start since injuring his ankle on Thursday night. Here's the 2-2. And that one's just outside for a ball. Count goes full to Yezzo as the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, nobody out here in the top of the 5th. 4-2 Wild Things lead. Shreves has his sign. He's set in the 3-2 offering. And this ball fouled back by Jimmy Yezzo, so staying alive here against Michael Shreves. And the count remains 3-2. Rolled his ankle on Thursday night, did Jimmy Yezzo, sliding back into first base. Has been rehabbing, was rehabbing every day in Windy City, and then finished his rehab here today and was able to start here tonight. Shreves has his sign, the 3-2, and this ball grounded to up the middle and past Steven Patterson into center field for a base hit. So a single there for Jimmy Yezzo. Gets a runner on for the Wild Things now with nobody out following the solo home run. And that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far 0 for 2 in this one. Struck out in the second and grounded out in inning number 4. Nobody out top of the 5th. A run in on the solo home run by Dave Popkins. Popkins' second home run of the day as the Wild Things lead 4-2. Shreves has his sign. He's set, checks first, and the pitch on the way. And Gonzalez takes this one for a strike at the letters. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Alvaro Gonzalez. Nobody out, top of the 5th. Wild Things trying to get back in the playoff race. Currently 2.5 out of the normal Corn Belters who hold the number 4 seed. This ball in the dirt and by Kendall Patrick, as that'll allow Jimmy Yezzo to move up to second now. So a wild pitch gives the Wild Things a runner at second with nobody out here in the inning. And Michael Shreves, these last 2 innings, has just unraveled against the Wild Things. Got the Wild Things 1, 2, 3 in the third. Faced 4 men each in the first and the second. But then the Wild Things batted around against him in the fourth. And so far here, 2 hits to start the inning, a solo homer and a single. Now Yezzo up at second after the wild pitch. Shreves has his sign, checks Yezzo, and the 1-1. And this ball popped up to right field. Jeff Debut running over towards the line. He'll camp under it. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Yezzo. Fakes like he's going to go to third. Gets a throw from Debut. But he'll stay at second. And that's out number 1. 1 out for the Wild Things here in the top of the 5th. And that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far 1 for 1. Walked in the second and singled in inning number 4. Kyle Pollock, a product of the Kansas City Royals organization, played in single A for the Royals a year ago. One man out top of the fifth. Jimmy Yezzo takes his lead from second. Yezzo singled after Popkins' home run here in this inning. Shreves checks him over there. Here's the pitch. And Pollock takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Wild Things catcher. Pollock, the primary catcher for the Washington Wild Things. Steve Solkowski handles the backup duties for Washington. Shreves has his sign, checks second. Here's the 1-0. And this ball lined right at third baseman Elijah Trail, going down to a knee to make that catch. Pretty nice play there by Trail, and that's out number 2 for the Wild Things. So 2 outs now in the inning. Jimmy Yezzo stays on second base, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Magruder so far 1 for 2. Flew out in the second and singled and scored a run in that 4th inning. 2 outs top of the 5th. 4-2 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Kyle Pollock takes his lead from second. Shreves holds at the belt, checks Yezzo. Here's the pitch. And Magruder takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Wild Things second baseman, Jamadric Magruder, signed 2 days before the All-Star break by the Wild Things. Shreves has his sign, checks second, and the 1-0. And Magruder takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the left-handed hitting second baseman for the Washington Wild Things. Jamadric Magruder spent some time in the American Association before joining the Wild Things. Shreves has his sign, checks second. Here's the 1-1. And this one just below the knees on Magruder, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, 2 men out top of the 5th. 1 run in the inning for the Wild Things on the solo home run by Dave Popkins. Another man sitting out there in scoring position is Jimmy Yezzo. Shreves has his sign, checks Yezzo. Here's the 2-1. That one's in the dirt for a ball. Shreves falls behind Magruder. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count. 2 men out here in this top of the 5th. 4 runs on 9 hits for the Wild Things. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Shreves holds at the belt. Checks Yezzo at second. Here's the 3-1. And this ball popped up by Magruder. Foul territory off to the left. Trail going over there. He'll camp under it and make the catch. And that's good for out number 3. But the Wild Things do get a run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 4.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, heading to the bottom of the 5th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Traverse City Beach Bums 2. Last inning for Traverse City, Giancarlo Bergoni would strike out. Kendall Patrick would then single. Jeff Debut would hit into a fielder's choice, replacing Patrick at first base before Marcus Dirks came to the plate, and Jeff Debut was thrown out trying to steal second base for the final out of the inning. Due up here in the 5th, Marcus Dirks, Ryan Bacher, and Jose Vargas, 1, 2, and 3 against Matt Frauden. Ever since that second inning, Frauden has calmed down, retired the Beach Bums 1, 2, 3 in the 3rd, faced only 3 men in inning number 4, not allowing a run, looking to continue that success here in the 5th inning. Besides that second inning, he's also been very efficient on the mound, through 14 in the 1st, 12 in the 3rd, 16 in inning number 4, and through 33 pitches in inning number 2. That was his big pitch inning, but so far has been keeping that pitch number down, and if he can do that, he can stabilize his longevity here in this ball game. Stepping in to lead things off, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far 2 for 2 with a single and a 2 RBI double. Frauden has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Dirks takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bum center fielder. Was up last inning before Jeff Debut got thrown out at second. Here's the 1-0, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Frauden hasn't walked anybody since that second inning. 4 walks on the day in comparison to his 5 strikeouts. Frauden has his sign. Here's the 2-0. And that one's low for a ball, and the count now goes to 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count here on the Traverse City center fielder is Matt Frodden behind Dirks here to lead off this inning. Frodden has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-0 offering. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here on Marcus Dirks out there in center field for Traverse City. Nobody out bottom of the 5th. 4-2 Wild Things lead. Frodden has his sign, the 3-1, and that one's low ball 4. So a leadoff walk here to Marcus Dirks. 5th walk of the game for Matt Frodden. And again, that ties his career high for walks in a ball game, as there's a runner at first with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th, and that brings to the plate the left fielder Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far, no official at bat. He's walked in both of his plate appearances against Matt Frodden here today. Ryan Bacher out there in left for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Nobody out bottom of the 5th. Runner at first, Marcus Dirks with that leadoff walk. He stands over there for Traverse City. Matt Frodden looking in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks Dirks, and the pitch on the way. And this ball lined towards center field. Oncoming is Chris Grayson, and he'll make the running catch. And that's good for out number 1. So after that leadoff walk, Frodden getting the 1 pitch out. There's one man out here in the bottom of the 5th, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 0 for 2, hitting to a 4-6-3 double play in the first, and struck out in inning number 2. One man out here in the bottom of the 5th, 4-2 Wild Things lead. For Marcus Dirks over there at first base, 10 stolen bases on the year in 43 games. That's good for second on the Traverse City team. Frodden has his sign, the pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums DH. Last time we were here, Jose Vargas was at third base for Traverse City. Suffered an injury, spent some time on the DL, and now back in the DH role. Has Frodden signed the 1-0. Dirks taking off for second. Pitch inside, throw, and Dirks will get in there with the stolen base. Dirks' 11th stolen base of the year, and there's now a runner at second with 1 man out for the Beach Bums here in the bottom of the 5th. Dirks a very good jump there on Matt Frodden. Gets ahead of the throw by Kyle Pollock, and the count 2-0 now here on the DH, Jose Vargas. Matt Frodden looking in, going through his signs. Dirks takes his lead from second. Frodden set, checks him over there, and the 2-0 offering. This one's in there at the knees this time for a strike. Frodden getting back in the count, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Jose Vargas. Vargas, voted as an all-star for the Beach Bums, but could not attend as he got injured before the all-star game in Florence, Kentucky. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 2-1, and this ball popped up. Foul territory off to the left, back behind Traverse City's dugout, and the count now goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Jose Vargas, batting from the right side against the right-hander Matt Frodden. Frodden trying to get through 5 here, so he can qualify for the win in this ball game. 5-6 on the year, a 2.59 ERA, 2.93 ERA is good for second on the team. Frodden has his sign, the pitch, and that one's high for a ball. Count goes full with 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on Jose Vargas. Another full count in this ball game. On deck batter is Will Kenger, the shortstop. Matt Frodden looking in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Frodden strikes out Jose Vargas, his 6th strikeout of the game. And there are 2 away now here in this bottom of the 5th. That'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far 0 for 2, flew out in the first and struck out in inning number 3. 2 men out here in the bottom of the 5th. 4-2 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Marcus Dirks still out there at second base for Traverse City after leading off this inning with a walk and stealing second base. Kenger steps in, lefty versus righty matchup. Frodden, the right-handed pitcher, looks in, has his sign, he's set, checks his runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And this one swung on a miss there by Will Kenger, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on the Traverse City shortstop. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th. Frodden looks in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Holds at the belt, checks Dirks at second, and the 0-1. This one's low for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 2 men out from Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Sun setting over beautiful Werfel Park. Blue skies all around here. Chance of rain the next 2 days. But right now, a beautiful day for baseball. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And this ball popped foul by Will Kenger, so the count will now go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. The facade of Werfel Park here is to represent beach condos all around the stadium. The reason is the owner of the Traverse City Beach Bums used to own a lot of beachfront property here at Traverse City, so wanted to make his stadium look just like those condos. It's a unique design here if you ever get a chance to come out. Here's the 1-2, and this one fouled off the ankle of Will Kendra. That never feels good as a walk that one off, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Will Kendra. Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan, towards the top of the state of Michigan. We're about an hour and a half outside the city of Detroit. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Frodden looking in to Kyle Pollock. Going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks Dirkus at second, and the 1-2. And that one bounces up to the plate. Kyle Pollock loses it for a second, but doesn't trickle too far away from him. And the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, Matt Frodden, 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up here against Will Kendra. As some Wild Things get up and start to stretch. No official action right now. As you can see Colin Stanley out there warming his shoulder up. And a Traverse City Beach Bums bullpen all motion quiet in there. Frodden has his sign. He's set in the 2-2. And this ball grounded towards the middle, and that's a base hit. They're going to wave Dirks to the plate. Here comes Grayson's throw. It's a strong one, and it's not in time. It's an RBI double for Will Kendra, and Traverse City now cuts the lead to 1. It's 4-3 Washington Wild Things. Will Kendra coming through with the RBI single. Not very hard hit up the middle. Just got under the glove of Matt Frodden. Rolled up the middle. Grayson got to it as quickly as he could, but unfortunately his throw home just a little bit late as Dirk slides in there ahead of the tag of Kyle Pollock. That brings to the plate the third baseman Elijah Trail. Trail so far 0 for 1. Walked in inning number 2 and scored a run and struck out in the third. 4-3 Wild Things lead. Matt Frodden looks in, has his sign. He's set, checks second, and the pitch. Taking off for third is Kendra. Throw down, and that throw is well in time to get Kendra. That's out number 3. Kyle Pollock's second caught stealing of the game. However, Traverse City does get a run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 5 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 6th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things, they would add on a run as Dave Popkins hit his second home run of the day, a solo home run over the left center field wall. That gave the Wild Things a 4-2 lead at that point. Jimmy Yeza would then single, then Alvaro Gonzalez flew out. Kyle Pollock robbed of a base hit on a sliding catch by Elijah Trail at third, and then Jamadric Magruder would pop out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Austin Wobrock, Andrew Heck, and Chris Grayson, 9-1 and 2 against Traverse City starter Michael Shreves. Shreves back out there for his 6th inning of work. His team just down by 1 here against the Wild Things. Due up to lead things off here in this top of the 6th, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 1 for 1, singled and walked so far in this ball game. 4-3 Wild Things lead. Wobrock's been doing a nice job of getting on base recently for the Wild Things. Second straight multi-hit game for him. Here's the pitch, and Wobrock fouls this one off to the left and into the seats. The count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Did not play in Game 2 of the doubleheader besides a pinch running rule, but in Game 1 of that doubleheader, went 0 for 4 in that one, so reaching base multiple times here in this one. This one grounded to the right and into the Wild Things dugout, and the count now goes to 0-2. Here on Wobrock. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the 6th. 4 runs, 9 hits for the Wild Things. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 0-2. And this ball grounded to the right side. It'll be handled over there by first baseman Bergoni. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for your Wild Things here in the top of the 6th, and that brings to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this ball game, 2 for 3, a double in the first, RBI single in the fourth, and struck out in inning number 3. One out, top of the sixth, 4-3 Wild Things lead. Michael Shreves so far in this game, 5 1/3 innings of work, has given up 4 runs, all of those runs earned. He has not yet walked a batter in this ball game, and he has struck out 2 on the day. First pitch, and that one's outside to Andrew Heck, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Shreves has been very good on control to this point. He's walked 1 in his 5 1/3. Here's the 1-0, and that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Andrew Heck. 1 man out in this top of the sixth. 4-3 Wild Things lead. Shreves has his sign. Here's the 2-0. And this one's low for a ball, so Shreves falling behind Andrew Heck now. 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count. Guys are starting to move around in the Wild Things bullpen. Colin Stanley was throwing a little bit. Still throwing out there in the top of the sixth. Here's the 3-0. And Heck takes this one inside, ball 4. So it's a 4-pitch walk with 1 man out. That'll put a runner at first for the Wild Things and bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 1 for 3, popped out in the first, flew out in the third, and hit an RBI single in inning number 4. That single drove in the third run of the ball game for your Washington Wild Things. Was his 13th RBI of the season. Andrew Heck, the runner at first, 6 steals on the year for Heck. Second, tied with Austin Wobrock, and behind the current batter, Chris Grayson. Shreves has his sign, the pitch, and Grayson pops this one up foul off to the left. That'll get back into the seats, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Austin Wobrock grounded out to start the inning. Then Andrew Heck walking. He's over at first. Grayson trying to keep this inning going for the Wild Things. Michael Shreves, right-hander, facing off against the lefty, Chris Grayson. Shreves looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. That one's outside for a ball. Count now goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Now there's action out in the Traverse City Beach Bums bullpen as a right-hander is starting to throw. Shreves looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Grayson grounds this one to the right past the first base coaching box and foul, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Chris Grayson looking for his second hit here in the ball game. 4th time up already in this game in inning number 6 as we've reached the 4th time through the Washington Wild Things order. Michael Shreves looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-2. And Grayson takes this one low for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Grayson, the center fielder for the Wild Things. Did not play in either game of the doubleheader on Sunday. Was acquired by the Wild Things from the Sioux Falls Canaries after the Canaries released him. Throw over to first, and Andrew Heck just back ahead of the tag of Giancarlo Bergoni. And now manager Greg Langman barking at the home plate umpire Joe Pupillo here. Thought time was called as Greg Langman thought they had time behind the plate, and that Shreves shouldn't have thrown over to first. He's really arguing his point here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Joe Pupillo behind the plate, telling him calm down, and they have it squared away. Andrew Heck taking his lead from first. Shreves looks in, has his sign, holds at the belt, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Grayson, ground ball to the right side. Bergoni handles it, steps on first for 1, and the throw hits Andrew Heck as he goes in between first and second. And the ball ricochets out to the mound, so Heck can be able to get back to first. So it's a 3 unassisted ground out there for Chris Grayson, and that's out number 2. Weird play there as it was grounded to first. Bergoni grabbed it, and as he fired to second, it hit off of Andrew Heck's gut and rolled over to the pitching mound. So Andrew Heck able to get back as he's hit by that throw by Bergoni. Runner at first, 2 men out. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate. Rodriguez so far 0 for 3. 4-3 Wild Things lead. Top of the 6th, 2 men out. Michael Shreves looking in. Shreves has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Rodriguez takes this one high for a ball. Snap throw to first, and Andrew Heck gets back in there. 1 ball, no strikes here on Ricky Rodriguez, the designated hitter for the Washington Wild Things. Los Angeles, California native. In his first year with the Wild Things, played for the Amarillo Thunderheads a year ago. Michael Shreves has his sign, he's set. Here's the 1-0. And this one's low and outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0, 2 men out here in the top of the 6th. And if you're Michael Shreves, you're going to take care of business now with Ricky Rodriguez as Dave Popkins, who has 2 home runs off you, stands on deck. Shreves looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-0. And that one's outside for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count, 2 men out. Andrew Heck still at first. A 4-pitch walk for him with 1 man out, as he has been left there at first base. Shreves has his sign. He's set. And the 3-0 offering. And this ball lined right at Will Kendra at short. And that is good for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on no hits, no errors, and 1 left on after the walk. After 5.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage, going to the bottom of the 6th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Traverse City Beach Bums 3. Last inning for the Beach Bums. They would add another run on in this game, cutting the Wild Things lead down to just 1. Marcus Dirks would walk to lead off the inning. Then he would steal second base, put a runner at second with nobody out. Ryan Bacher would then fly out. Jose Vargas struck out, and Will Kender doubled. Marcus Dirks came in to score, and that made the score 4-3 Wild Things. Then Elijah Trail was at the plate when Will Kender was caught stealing at third base to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Elijah Trail, Stephen Patterson, and Giancarlo Bergoni, the 5, 6, and 7 men for the Traverse City Beach Bums at the plate. Now Matt Frodden threw 19 pitches last inning, his second highest total in this ballgame. So far through 5 innings of work, has given up 3 runs, all earned on 5 hits, has walked 5 men in the ballgame, and has struck out 6 to this point. So far, so good on the mound for Matt Frodden. Stepping in to lead things off against him here in the bottom of the 6th, third baseman Elijah Trail. Trail so far on the day, 0 for 1, walked and scored a run in the 2nd, and struck out in inning number 3. Nobody out here in this bottom of the 6th inning. 4-3, your Washington Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Matt Frodden trying to get through 6 here in this ball game against these Traverse City Beach Bums. Frodden looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. That one's a called strike on the inside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Elijah Trail with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And this ball popped up back behind the plate, and this will get into the seats foul as the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Frodden ahead of the first man he faces here in this 6th inning. And for Matt Frodden, he has not gone less than 5 innings in a start in his career here in the Frontier League. The shortest he's gone is 5 innings, and he's done that twice throughout his career. This next pitch, and that one's outside for a ball, 1-2, as he couldn't get Elijah Trail to chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Frodden has his sign. Here's the offering. And this ball lined foul off to the left, back into the seats, so the count will remain 1-2. There's only 2 times in his career he's thrown less than 5 innings in a ball game, and both of those were relief appearances. Once this year when he went 2 2/3 against Joliet back on May the 17th, his first appearance this season, and his first appearance last season as well was 1 inning against River City. Here's the 1-2, and that one's in the dirt, and that'll get away from Kyle Pollock, but he'll let it roll with nobody on base, and the count goes even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Matt Frodden, last time, as we said, threw 115 pitches against the Lake Erie Crushers to get through 5 2/3 innings of work. So far being much more efficient here in tonight's game. Has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And this ball swung on and missed. Striking out is Elijah Trail. 7th strikeout of the day for Matt Frodden. There's one out here in the bottom of the sixth. One up, one down for the Beach Bums, and that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Stephen Patterson. Patterson so far is 1 for 2, doubled and scored a run in the second, and grounded out in inning number 3. Matt Frodden now behind, one strikeout behind his career high of 8 that was set earlier this year. Frodden has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here to the Beach Bums second baseman, Stephen Patterson. One man out, bottom of the sixth. Wild Things lead 4-3. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 0-1. This one grounded over to first. Jimmy Yezzo handled it on a hop. Flips to Frodden covering, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Beach Bums in this bottom of the sixth, and that'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni so far 0 for 2 in this ballgame, has struck out twice against Matt Frodden. Action in the Wild Things bullpen as a right-hander gets up and starts to throw out there. Also action in Traverse City's bullpen. Their righty continues to throw. Frodden looks in, has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And a check swing there by Bergoni, but he went around, says Joe Pupillo behind the plate, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums first baseman. Righty on righty matchup. Frodden has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And this one swung on a miss, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Frodden ahead of Giancarlo Bergoni here, 0-2, looking to tie his career high in strikeouts, which is 8 set earlier this year against River City. Frodden has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-2. And a check swing. Did he go around? Yes, says the home plate umpire. And that is out number 3. 8th strikeout of the day for Matt Frodden as 1, 2, 3 go the Beach Bums here in the 6th. And after 6 innings of play, the score, Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 7th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. New pitcher on for the Beach Bums is taking over is right-hander Jacob Lanning. Lanning so far in the year, a record of 4-5, a 4.32 ERA. Appearing in his 23rd game, he has made 8 starts on the season. He's thrown 66 2/3 innings of work, giving up 35 runs, 32 earned, on 71 hits, 15 walks, and 36 strikeouts on the year for Jacob Lanning. Final line for the starter, Michael Shreves. Shreves ends up going 6 in this ball game, giving up 4 runs, all of them earned, on 9 hits, walked 3, and struck out 2. Took him 94 pitches to get through 6 innings of work. Due up this inning for the Wild Things, Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, and Alvaro Gonzalez, 4, 5, and 6 to greet Jacob Lanning. Last inning for the Wild Things, Austin Wobrock would ground out. Andrew Heck walked. Chris Grayson grounded out. And Ricky Rodriguez lined out to end the inning. So Jacob Lanning into the ballgame for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Dave Popkins making his way to the plate. And Popkins has had himself a day up to this point. So far, 2 for 3, 2 solo home runs, his 12th and 13th home runs of the year. And he has also popped out in this ball game. So he'll be the first man to face Jacob Lanning here in this ball game. Lanning's first pitch, and that one swung on a miss by Popkins, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Popkins looking for another first pitch home run there. A big swing and a miss by him to start this inning off. Lanning looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. And Popkins lines this one into left field. Will Kendrick grits it on the backhand. Throw to first. It hops, and it's not in time. Dave Popkins able to beat that one out. It's an infield single for Popkins, and the leadoff man reaches for the Wild Things here in the top of the 7th. Third hit of the night for Dave Popkins. 2 home runs, and now that single, and that'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in the day, 1 for 3. Flew out in the 2nd, flew out in the 4th, and singled in inning number 5. Nobody out, top of the 7th. 4-3 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Lanning has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Yezzo fouls this one off to the left, back into the seats, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things first baseman. Nobody out in this top of the 7th. Jacob Lanning in his first year with the Beach Bums. 4-5, that 4.32 ERA. 36 strikeouts in 66 2/3 innings, so not very much a strikeout pitcher. This pitch low for a ball as the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. However, has been very good in his control. Only 15 walks on the year. He's on for Michael Shreves. Shreves goes 6 in this ball game. Lanning has his sign. He's set in the 1-1. This ball popped foul back into the seats, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jimmy Yezzo just underneath that one as he hit it off the bottom of the baseball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Popkins, the runner at first, has 5 steals on the year, currently tied for third with Jamadric Magruder. Lanning has his sign. He's set in the 1-2. And a swing and a miss there by Yezzo to a ball in the dirt. Gets away from Kendall Patrick, and that'll allow Dave Popkins to move up to second base now with 1 out. So a wild pitch. Strikeout there by Jimmy Yezzo, however. First strikeout of the day for Jacob Lanning. And there's 1 out for the Wild Things in the top of the 7th. That'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far 0 for 3, struck out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and flew out in inning number 5. 1 man out, top of the 7th, 4-3 Wild Things lead. Dave Popkins takes his lead from second. Looking in is Jacob Lanning, has his sign, he's set. Checks Popkins out there, and the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Gonzalez at a pitch at the letters, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1, 1 man out here in this top of the 7th. 4 runs on 10 hits for the Wild Things, 3 runs on 5 hits for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Lanning has his sign, checks Popkins in the 0-1. And Alvaro Gonzalez checks his swing and takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Looking in is Jacob Lanning, fresh out of the bullpen for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Lanning has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1 offering. And a swing and a miss there by Gonzalez, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lanning attacking the upper part of the strike zone here against Alvaro Gonzalez. He's got 2 swings and misses so far in this at-bat up there. Popkins takes his lead from second. Jacob Lanning looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1-2. And that one's just high for a ball. This time Gonzalez laying off, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 man out, top of the 7th. Alvaro Gonzalez in his 6th game with the Washington Wild Things. Played for the University of New Mexico Highlands prior to joining the Wild Things. Here's the 2-2, and a swing and a miss. Alvaro Gonzalez strikes out. That's the 2nd out here in the inning. 2nd strikeout for Jacob Lanning, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far 1 for 2. Walked in the 2nd, singled and scored a run in the 4th, and lined out in inning number 5. Dave Popkins still at second with 2 men out. Popkins led this inning off with a single, then would move up on a wild pitch as Jimmy Yezzo struck out on a ball in the dirt. Popkins takes his lead from second. 4-3 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Lanning checks him. Here's the pitch. And Pollock takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Wild Things catcher. Kyle Pollock's been doing a majority of the catching lately as Steve Solkowski, his backup, has not had to be called into action. Jacob Lanning looking in. Lanning has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0. And this one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Kyle Pollock checking with home plate umpire Joe Pupillo there, as he didn't quite agree with that one, but he'll go with it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Popkins takes his lead from second. There is action in the Wild Things bullpen. And time is called by Pollock behind the plates. We've seen Colin Stanley up and warming each of the last 2 innings for Washington. He has sat down here with 2 outs in this 6th inning. We'll see if he's going to come into the game for the 7th. Lanning looks out. Here's the 1-1. And that one's in there as well against Pollock. Not swinging at that one, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 men out, top of the 7th, 4-3 Wild Things lead. Dave Popkins takes his lead from second here in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Game 2 tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, as Matt Snyder takes the mound for his second Wild Things start. The 1-2, and that one's in the dirt for a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Taking the mound for the Beach Bums will be Augie Gallardo for Traverse City. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 men out here in this one. Wild Things lead 4-3 over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Looking in is Jacob Lanning going through the signs. Lanning has one he likes. He's set. Checks second, and the 2-2. And this ball fouled back by Kyle Pollock over towards the press box here at Werfel Park, hitting off the window just to my right. Had to kind of lean out of the way of that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 men out here in this inning. Popkins at second takes his lead out there. Lanning going through the signs with Kendall Patrick. Has one he likes, he's set, checks second, and the 2-2. And this ball fouled back by Pollock as well, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Pollock fighting off 2 straight foul balls here against Jacob Lanning, making him work. Doesn't want to be the 3rd strikeout victim in the inning, as after Dave Popkins singled to lead things off, Lanning struck out Jimmy Yezzo and Alvaro Gonzalez for the first 2 outs. Lanning has his sign, he's set, here's the 2-2. And Pollock again fouls this one back to the screen. So the 3rd straight foul ball here by Kyle Pollock. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Battle brewing here between Pollock and Jacob Lanning. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming here to Kyle Pollock. Lanning looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. Check the second, and now he'll step off as he didn't like what he saw there from Dave Popkins. Popkins jumping back and forth on the second base bag, trying to confuse Jacob Lanning. More action in Traverse City's bullpen as the lefty starts to warm up now. Lanning looking into Kendall Patrick. Has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And Pollock again fouling this one back, so the count remains 2-2. Pollock getting a piece of each of the last 4 pitches, fouling it back behind home plate. That one almost got over the screen here at Werfel Park. As 4 straight foul balls by Pollock. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Lanning set, holds at the belt. Checks Popkins, the 2-2. And that one's a called strike 3. So Lanning finally gets Kyle Pollock looking, and that will end the inning. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on. After 6.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 7th, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. New pitcher on for the Washington Wild Things is coming in is right-hander Colin Stanley. Stanley so far in the year, record of 3-1, 2 saves on the season, a 2.97 ERA, appearing in his 28th game, has thrown 36 1/3 innings of work, giving up 15 runs, 12 of them earned on 30 hits, 30 strikeouts, and 11 walks on the season for Stanley. Do have to face him here in this bottom half of the 7th. Kendall Patrick, Jeff Debut, and Marcus Dirks, 8-9-1. facing off against Colin Stanley. Final line for the starter, Matt Frodden. Frodden goes 6, gives up 3 runs, all earned on 5 hits, walks 5, and strikes out a tie for career high 8, throwing 105 pitches. Colin Stanley looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss there by Kendall Patrick, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums catcher. Colin Stanley, the first pitcher out of the Wild Things bullpen. Jacob Lanning, a scoreless inning for him in the top half. Stanley has his sign, the pitch, and this one's fouled away by Kendall Patrick, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Colin Stanley, in his second year with the Washington Wild Things, debuted last season at Bosse Field in Evansville. That debut coming on July 24th, went 2 innings and struck out 4 in that ball game in his debut. Stanley has his sign, he's set in the 0-2. And a check swing there by Patrick, but he held up, says the home plate umpire Joe Pupillo. Appeal out to Drew Ashcraft on the bases, and he says the same. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums catcher. Colin Stanley has been a middle reliever for the Wild Things all season, but since Zach Groats has been moved to the starting role, Stanley has seen some time in late innings of ball games. Here's the 1-2. Check swing, and he went around, says the home plate umpire. Throw down to first, and that'll complete the strikeout. So a strikeout and a 2-3 putout, and it's 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums here in the bottom of the 7th, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Jeff Debut. Debut so far 0 for 2, popped out in the second, and reached on a fielder's choice in inning number 4. 1 man out here in this bottom of the 7th inning, 4-3. The Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Colin Stanley first out of the bullpen for the Wild Things against Traverse City. Stanley has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jeff Debut, the number 9 hitter in Traverse City's order. Colin Stanley, currently 3rd on the team with his .297 ERA. Here's the pitch, and that one's a called strike on the outside corner. The count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Stanley, 30 strikeouts in 36 1/3 innings of work this season. Very good in the strikeout department last year, 36 and 21 2/3. Here's the 0-2, and a swing and a miss. Colin Stanley strikes out Jeff Debut. He struck out the first 2 men he's faced here in this inning, and there are 2 outs now in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far 2 for 2. Singled in the first, RBI double in the second, and walked and scored a run in inning number 5. 2 men out, bottom of the 7th. 4-3 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Righty on lefty matchup. Matt Frodden, the right-handed pitcher, facing off against Marcus Dirks, the left-handed batter. Colin Stanley has his sign. Here's the pitch, and that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Stanley struck out the first 2 men he's faced here out of the bullpen for the Wild Things. Picked up his 2nd save of the year in Game 2 of the doubleheader on Sunday, coming in after the Wild Things came back and collecting the save. The 1-0, and this one hit the left field. Andrew Heck moving over towards the line. He'll camp under it, and he makes the catch, and that is good for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Beach Bums here in the 7th, and after 7 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball from Woodville Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Going to the top of the 8th in the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. New pitcher on for the Beach Bums as it'll be left-hander Joe Anthony Rivera. Rivera so far in the year 0-2 with a 3.27 ERA. Appearing in his 26th game, has thrown 22 innings of work, giving up 12 runs, 8 of them earned on 33 hits, 5 walks, and 26 strikeouts for Rivera. So Rivera on. The final line for the reliever, Jacob Lanning. Lanning went an inning, did not give up a run on just 1 hit, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 3 in the contest. Took 18 pitches to get through that 7th inning of work. Due up for the Wild Things here in the top of the 8th will be Jamadric Magruder, Austin Wobrock, and Andrew Heck. 8, 9, and 1 facing off against the new pitcher, Joe Anthony Rivera. Rivera, the lefty, coming in to face the left-hander Jamadric Magruder, and then the lefty Austin Wobrock before facing right-hander Andrew Heck. So Rivera coming in to face the 2 lefties in the Wild Things order. Game 2 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. Matt Snyder takes the hill for the Washington Wild Things. His second start as a Wild Thing, picked up the win his first time out, improving to 1-0 on the season. He'll be opposed by Augie Gallardo for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 8th, second baseman Jamadric Magruder. Magruder so far on the day is 1 for 3, flew out in the second, singled and scored a run in the 4th, and popped out in inning number 5. Stepping up here in the 8th inning with nobody out to lead things off. Rivera looks in, has his sign, he's set, and now time is called behind the plate as Jamadric Magruder not quite yet ready. Magruder digging back in there against Joe Anthony Rivera. Rivera, the lefty, out of the bullpen. Has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one taken for a strike at the knees to Magruder. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Jamadric Magruder playing in his 3rd straight game here in Game 1 of this series with Traverse City. First time he's played in 3 straight games since suffering that hamstring injury in Florence. Rivera has his sign, he's set, in the 0-1. And this one swung on and missed by Magruder, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. For Rivera on the year, 26 strikeouts in 22 innings of work, so very good in that department. Has only walked 5 in those 22 innings. It's his first year with the Beach Bums. Made his Frontier League debut back on May 13th. Here's the pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Couldn't get Magruder to chase, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Magruder, left-handed hitting second baseman for the Washington Wild Things. Assumed the everyday second baseman role once Brian Haar had retired from the Wild Things. Magruder was signed right before the All-Star break and has been the starting second baseman ever since. The 1-2, and that one's in the dirt as well. Once again, Magruder able to hold up, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Colin Stanley throwing a scoreless inning of work for the Wild Things, striking out 2 in his inning of relief. No action in the Wild Things bullpen, so he'll likely come on for inning number 8 as well. Rivera has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And this ball fouled back to the screen by Jamadric Magruder, so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kyle Pollock, before becoming the 3rd strike of the inning for Jacob Lanning, fouled off 5 straight pitches against him to make it a 9-pitch at-bat before striking out looking to end it. So Magruder starting a battle here with Joe Anthony Rivera. Rivera has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2 offering. And this one's in the dirt as well, so the count now goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Magruder. 3-2 the count, top of the 8th. 4-3 Wild Things lead. Austin Wobrock, the on-deck man for Washington. Rivera looks in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 3-2 pitch. And Magruder takes this one high, ball 4, so a leadoff walk out of the bullpen for Joe Anthony Rivera. Gets the man on for the Wild Things and nobody out. And that brings to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far in the day, 1 for 2, singled in the 3rd, walked in the 4th, and grounded out in inning number 6. Nobody out, top of the 8th, 4-3 Wild Things lead. Jamadric Magruder at first, 5 stolen bases on the year for Magruder, tied for 3rd on this Washington Wild Things team, tied with Dave Popkins. Joe Anthony Rivera looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Wobrock showing bunt, pulls back and takes a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Elijah Trail playing in on the grass, expecting the sacrifice bunt here with nobody out in the top of the 8th. Lefty on lefty, Rivera looking in. Has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 coming to Wobrock. Wolbrock again showing bunt. This time gets it down and fouls it back behind home plate. The count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Austin Wolbrock in his second year with the Washington Wild Things. 31 RBIs a year ago. Good for second behind Dave Popkins on the Wild Things team. Currently has 14 RBIs on the season, which is good for fifth on the club. Joe Anthony Rivera looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the no ball 2-strike pitch. And Wolbrock grounds this off to the right side. Bergoni will handle it on a hop. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 1. Meanwhile, Jamadric Magruder moving up to second on the play. So there's a runner at second with 1 man out, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, or the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far on the day, 2 for 3, doubled in the first, struck out in the third, RBI single in the fourth, and walked in inning number 6. 1 man out in this top of the 8th inning. 4-3 Wild Things lead as they look to add some insurance. They have that runner out in scoring position with 1 man out. Joe Anthony Rivera looking in. Rivera going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Heck. Check the second, here it comes. And that one's low for a ball, low and inside, and the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Andrew Heck with 1 man out here in this top of the 8th inning. Jamadric Magruder started things off with a walk, and then the ground out by Austin Wolbrock moved him to second base. Rivera going through the signs once more with Kendall Patrick. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 1-0. And this one grounded towards short. Will Kendrick's going to handle this one. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th of the Wild Things. Magruder's still standing out on second base, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far is 1 for 4. Popped out in the first, flew out in the third, RBI single in the fourth, and grounded out in inning number 6. 2 men out here in the top of the 8th. 4 runs on 10 hits for the Wild Things. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Grayson coming to the plate, looking for his second hit of the night. Rivera looking into Kendall Patrick, going through the signs. Wants to go through once more, and now he'll step off as Patrick wants to go out and talk to him. 2 men out in this top of the 8th inning. The Wild Things do have a runner at second. Jamadric Magruder standing out there. He walked to lead off the inning. Wild Things have 4 in the game. 2 of those runs coming via solo home runs by Dave Popkins, his 12th and 13th home runs of the year. His first multi-home run game of the season, last multi-home run game for the Wild Things was actually here in Werfel Park when Brian Harr did it. Harr hit his 8th and 9th homers here over the left field wall last time the Wild Things were in town. Joe Anthony Rivera looking into his catcher Patrick, has his sign, he's set. Checks Magruder out at second, and the pitch on the way. And Grayson takes this one low and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. 2 men out here in this top of the 8th. Wild Things do have a runner in scoring position. They lead this one 4-3. Joe Anthony Rivera has his sign. He's set. Holds near his cap. And the 1-0. Magruder takes off for third. Pitch low. The throw down. And it's a good throw, but Magruder got a very nice jump there on Joe Anthony Rivera. Gets in there. His 6th stolen base of the year. Now ties him for second on the club. A 3-way tie for second. Tied with Andrew Heck and Austin Wolbrock. All of them have 6. 2 men out here in this top of the 8th. Now a runner at third for the Wild Things. As Grayson's job gets a little bit easier if he can poke one up the middle. Be an easy run for the Wild Things. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefty on lefty matchup. Rivera has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1. And Grayson lining this one to center field. Marcus Dirks a couple of steps, and he's not going to make the catch. Magruder will score. This goes to the wall. Grayson around first, heading to second. Grayson's thinking 3. Here comes the throw, and he's out at third. They throw Grayson out, trying to get to third base. However, the run does score, as coming in is Jamadric Magruder. Your Wild Things now lead 5-3 going into the bottom half of the 8th. So it'll be a double for Chris Grayson, thrown out, trying to get to third. RBI is 14th RBI of the year, and after 7.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store, and coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 8th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. Colin Stanley back out there for his second inning of relief for the Washington Wild Things. Came in to relieve Matt Frodden in inning number 6. Frodden went 6 in this one, gave up 3 runs, all of them earned. And stepping in to lead things off against Stanley here in this bottom of the 8th is the left fielder Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far on the day, 0 for 1, walked in the first, walked in the second, and flew out in inning number 5. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th, 5-3, Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums, 2-3-4 against Stanley here in inning number 8. Stanley looks in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one swung on and missed by Ryan Bacher, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the left fielder for Traverse City. They're down by 2 now as the Wild Things getting some insurance in that top half of the 8th on the RBI double by Chris Grayson. Stanley has his sign. Here's the 0-1. This one grounded towards second. Magruder will handle it over there. He throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums here in the bottom of the 8th, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 0 for 3, hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the first, struck out in the second, and struck out in inning number 5. Bottom of the 8th, 1 man out. Wild Things lead 5-3 over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Action in the Wild Things bullpen as Devin Davis starts to throw out there. The new closer for the Wild Things was Zach Groats in a starting role. Stanley has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Vargas takes this one for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the designated hitter for Traverse City. Colin Stanley, the righty, looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. This ball lined past the diving Alvaro Gonzalez. Rebound by Robrock. Throw to first. And what a play. 5-6-3 on the ground out. Alvaro Gonzalez, a diving try. It was off the tip of his glove. Austin Wobrock back there to back him up. Fires a strike to first. And a nice defensive play there. Wobrock picking up his third baseman Gonzalez. And that'll bring to the plate the shortstop Will Kenger. Kenger so far 1 for 3. Flew out in the first, struck out in the third, and doubled in inning number 5. Baseball, I say, is a team sport. Right there is why. Wobrock picking up his teammate Gonzalez at third. Gonzalez laying out the ball off the tip of his glove. Wobrock rebounds and fires. The first pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Will Kenger. 2 men out, bottom of the 8th. 5-3 Wild Things lead. Colin Stanley looks in, has his sign, the 1-0. This ball popped foul by Kenger back into the seats off to the left, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, 2 men out here in the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 Wild Things lead. 5 runs on 11 hits for the Wild Things. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Beach Bums. Stanley looks in. Here's the 1-1. That one's outside for a ball, and the count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1, 2 men out, bottom of the 8th. Will Kenger, the number 4 hitter for Traverse City, out at shortstop. Stanley going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 2-1. And this one lined up the middle, past Austin Wobrock into center field, and that'll be a 2-out hit. Single for Will Kenger, gets a man on for Traverse City, and 2 men out, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far 0 for 2, walked and scored a run in the second, struck out in inning number 3, and struck out in inning number 6. 2 men out, bottom of the 8th. 5-3, Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Colin Stanley on for his second full inning of work, his second season with the Wild Things, and his first season with Washington. Went 0-1 with a 1.24 ERA in 16 games. First pitch, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Elijah Trail. Struck out 36 and 21 and 2/3 innings last year. Only gave up 10 hits in that same amount of innings. Has been very good this year as well. 30 hits in 36 1/3. This one fouled off the ankle of Elijah Trail, and Trail falling down in pain, as we said. That never feels good on the batter. He's going to have to walk that one out, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Colin Stanley trying to finish off this 8th inning. 5-3 Wild Things lead after the RBI double by Chris Grayson in the top of the 8th. Pads the lead a little bit for your Washington Wild Things. Righty on righty matchup. Colin Stanley out of the bullpen for the Wild Things, facing off against the third baseman Elijah Trail for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Taking his lead from first is Will Kenger. Stanley has his sign. He's set, and the 0-2. And this ball grounded to short. Austin Wobrock handles it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 8 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 9th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. New pitcher on for the Traverse City Beach Bums, as it'll be right-hander James Ball. Ball so far in the year, a record of 2-3, a 3.58 ERA. Appearing in his 32nd game, has thrown 42 2/3 innings of work, giving up 22 runs, 17 of those earned on 44 hits, 24 strikeouts, and 11 walks on the year for James Ball. The final line for the reliever, Joe Anthony Rivera. Rivera went an inning, gave up a run. It was earned on 1 hit, walked 1, and struck out none. Took him 15 pitches to get through that 8th inning of work. Due up to face James Ball here in the 9th, Ricky Rodriguez, Dave Popkins, and Jimmy Yezzo, 3, 4, and 5 against the righty for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wild Things lead 5-3 here in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Game 2 can be heard tomorrow night right here on the MSA Sports Network. 7:05 first pitch. Has taken the mound for the Wild Things left-hander Matt Snyder. Snyder 1-0 with a 4.26 ERA on the season. He'll be opposed by Augie Gallardo for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 9th for the Wild Things is their designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far on the day is 0 for 4, grounded out in the first, flew out in the third, grounded out in the fourth, and lined out in inning number 6. James Ball looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. Nobody out, top of the 9th. 5-3 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Ball has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And this ball hit towards right field. Jeff Debut a couple of steps back on it. A couple of steps in front of the track. He'll camp under it and make the catch. And that's good for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the 9th. And that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 3 for 4 in this one. Popped out in the first. Hit his 12th home run of the year in the 4th. His 13th home run of the year in the 5th. And singled in inning number 7. A multi-homer game for him. First multi-homer game since Brian Harr did it last time the Wild Things were here. Ball has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Popkins takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. James Ball on for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Retired the first man he faced here in this inning. James Ball is in his first year with the Beach Bums, 2-3. Has 11 walks in 42 2/3 innings. Let's go with 24 strikeouts. Next pitch, and that one's low, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. So James Ball doing pretty good with his control here late in the season. Ball has his sign. Here's the 2-0. And Popkins takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. James Ball is the 4th pitcher used for the Traverse City Beach Bums here. Michael Strees went 6th, and Jacob Lanning and Joe Anthony Rivera each throwing an inning of work. The 2-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count now goes 3 balls and a strike here on Dave Popkins. And right now, Ball behind Popkins, hitting left-handed against the right-handed James Ball. Popkins' switch hitter has been batting from the left side all day. Ball has his sign. Here's the 3-1. And Popkins, a ground ball foul off to the right past the first base coaching box, and the count now goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Jimmy Yezzo, the on-deck man for the Washington Wild Things. He will follow Dave Popkins here in this 9th inning. James Ball looks in, going through the signs, has one he likes. He's set. Here's the 3-2. And this ball hit towards left field. Going over on it is Ryan Bacher, a couple steps in front of the track, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the top of the 9th, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far on the day is 1 for 4, flew out in the 2nd, flew out in the 4th, singled in the 5th, and struck out in inning number 7. Now 2 men out here in this top of the 9th inning, 5-3. Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. James Ball out of the bullpen for Traverse City, retiring the first 2 men he's faced. Ball has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. James Ball standing in there at 5'10", 185 from Hillsboro, Missouri. His first year with Traverse City, sporting the long beard out there. Here's the 1-0. And that one's in there on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. James Ball, the beard here in Traverse City. As you know him right away when he's on the mound. Has a beard that resembles that of former Giants closer Brian Wilson. Here's the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there by Yezzo. Big cut and a miss, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 2 men out, top of the 9th here at Werfel Park. 5-3 Wild Things lead. An 11-hit attack for the Washington Wild Things here today. James Ball looking in, has his sign. He's set in the 1-2 pitch. And Yezzo hits this one towards left field. Elijah Trail giving chase towards foul territory. Bacher coming on as well. Bacher slides, and this one will land just foul to the left of that left field foul line, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jimmy Yezzo almost got a bloop double there as both Elijah Trail and Ryan Bacher converging on that one. Neither of them could get to it, but it fell unfortunately harmlessly in foul territory. Count remains 1-2, 2 men out. Jimmy Yezzo, his first start since injuring his ankle on Thursday against the Lake Erie Crushers, slid awkwardly into the first base bag and turned his ankle, currently wearing an air cast over his right cleat. The right ankle, the one he injured. Ball has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And this one fouled back by Jimmy Yezzo. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. That air cast going to help stabilize his ankle as he recovers from that injury. Well enough to start at first base here tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Yezzo, the left-handed hitter, against the right-hander James Ball. Ball looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Yezzo pops this one up. Foul territory off to the left. Elijah Trail will camp under it, and he makes the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the top of the 9th. And on to the bottom of the 9th, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 5, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose Pro Grass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. On to the bottom of the ninth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Traverse City Beach Bums 3. New pitcher on for the Wild Things, as it'll be left-hander Devin Davis. Davis so far in the year, record of 1-1, 4 saves, a 3.14 ERA. Appearing in his 31st game, has thrown 34 1/3 innings of work, giving up 13 runs, 12 of them earned on 33 hits, 10 walks, and 39 strikeouts. Davis into the game for Colin Stanley. Stanley's final line, 2 innings, no runs, no earned on 1 hit. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 2. Took him 18 pitches to get through 2 innings of work. Due up here in the bottom of the ninth against Devin Davis will be Stephen Patterson, Giancarlo Bergoni, and Kendall Patrick, 6, 7, and 8 against the Wild Things' new closer. Devin Davis taking that role as Zach Groats has been moved to a starting role for the Washington Wild Things this season. Groats made his first start as a Wild Thing back in Game 1 of Sunday's doubleheader. Stephen Patterson making his way to the plate right now. Patterson so far on the day, 1 for 3, doubled and scored a run in the second, grounded out in the third, and grounded out in inning number 6. Davis looking for save number 5 on the season. Davis looking into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, here's the pitch. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Davis gets ahead of his first batter, no balls and a strike. Devin Davis comes in today, currently 4th on the Wild Things team in strikeouts. The pitch, and that one's in there as well. Count quickly goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Davis, a quick worker out of the Wild Things bullpen. Coming into today, has 38 strikeouts, good for 4th. The 0-2, and this one grounded foul off to the left past the third base coaching box, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Devin Davis brought in to face the lefty Stephen Patterson to start things off. Righty Giancarlo Bergoni on deck, and Kendall Patrick also a righty here in this inning. Davis has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 offering. And swinging a soft ground ball to third. Alvaro Gonzalez handles it on a hop throw to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 5-3 on the putout, and 1 up, 1 down for Devin Davis here in the bottom of the ninth. That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni so far 0 for 3, has struck out 3 times here in this ball game. All 3 strikeouts coming against the starter, Matt Frauden. Frauden finished the day tying his career high with 8 strikeouts on the night. So stepping in, Giancarlo Bergoni. Davis has his sign, the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums first baseman. 1 man out. Bergoni out there tonight. Last time we were here was Christian Santisteban. Davis has his sign, the 0-1, and this one grounded to short. Austin Warbrock handles it. Throw on to first, and 2 quickly retired here in the bottom of the ninth against Traverse City. 2 up, 2 down, and that brings to the plate the last chance for the Beach Bums and catcher Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far 1 for 2, walked in the second, singled in inning number 4, and struck out in inning number 7. 2 men out here in the bottom of the ninth. Wild Things looking for win number 38 on the year. They enter tonight 37 and 39, trying to get a game closer in that wild card race. Devin Davis looking into his catcher Kyle Pollock as Kendall Patrick steps in. Davis has his sign, the pitch, and Patrick a fly ball down the line and right. That one will hook and will go foul into the seats near the play area here at Werfel Park, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Devin Davis, the lefty out of the bullpen, has been very good for the Wild Things this year. Davis has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And that one's inside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Davis's 3.14 ERA, good for 4th on the team, behind Colin Stanley, Matt Frauden, and Zach Groats. Davis has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1 offering. And this ball fouled back towards the press box, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count now. That one hit off the window to my left. These baseballs finding this press box here. Get me a little uncomfortable. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 men out. Bottom of the 9th. Davis has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2 pitch. And just inside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Davis just missing that inside corner on Kendall Patrick, as he'll have to do it again. 2-2, 2 men out. Bottom of the 9th. 5-3 Wild Things lead. Davis has his sign. He's set. And the 2-2. And just low for a ball. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on Kendall Patrick. Devin Davis on the year. Only 10 walks in 34 1/3 innings. Has been very good in that department. Here's the 3-2. And just inside ball 4. So a 2-out walk. Kendall Patrick will reach base here for Traverse City. And that brings to the plate the tying run in right fielder Jeff Debut. Debut so far 0 for 3, popped out in the second, fielder's choice in the 4th, and a strikeout in inning number 7. Only the 11th walk on the year for Devin Davis, as now we are going to have a pinch runner come into the ballgame for the Traverse City Beach Bums, is going out there at first to run will be Casey Rodriguez, the infielder. He's running for Kendall Patrick at first base. So Casey Rodriguez coming into the game as a pinch runner. Devin Davis has 2 outs here in this bottom of the 9th inning as he's facing Jeff Debut at the plate. Debut so far 0 for 3. Rodriguez over at first now, running for Kendall Patrick. Davis looks in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks Rodriguez out there, and the pitch on the way. And Debut takes this one for a called strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the number 9 hitter, Jeff Debut. Davis has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. This one lined to right field, and that one will be a fair ball. Rodriguez around second. He's heading to third. Jeff Debut is going to get to second. Debut is going to stop at second. The throw-in's not going to be in time. Coming around to score is Casey Rodriguez, and the Traverse City Beach Bums have cut this lead to 1. It's now 5-4. Their tying run stands on second. RBI double there for Jeff Debut. Brings in a run, but still no fret for these Washington Wild Things. They have a 1-run lead over the Beach Bums, as that brings to the plate the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far on the day is 2 for 3, single in the first, RBI double in the second, walked in the 5th, and flew out in inning number 7. Devin Davis looking to get this final out of the game, has allowed a run here in the bottom of the 9th. It's 5-4. Davis looking in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the center fielder for the Traverse City Beach Bums. That tying run standing out at second base. Andrew Wick warming up in the Wild Things bullpen just in case. Davis checks second. Here's the 1-0. And that one's on the outside corner this time for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Davis looking for save number 5 on the year. Has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 1-1. This ball hit towards left field. Andrew Heck back on it a couple of steps. He will camp under it, and he makes the catch. And you can put in the books your Washington Wild Things win. Final score, Wild Things 5, Traverse City Beach Bums 4. Andrew Heck runs back and makes the catch, and it secures the Wild Things' 38th victory of the year. The winning pitcher in this one is Matt Frodden. Frodden goes to 6-6. The loser, Michael Shreves. Shreves falls to 2-8 on the year. The save goes to Devin Davis. It's Davis's 5th save of this 2016 season. Wild Things take game 1 for the Traverse City Beach Bums, 5-4. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network. Washington Wild Things postgame show coming up next. You've been listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. Final score tonight, your Washington Wild Things take Game 1 from the Traverse City Beach Bums here in this 3-game series. 5-4. Winning pitcher Matt Frauding goes to 6-6 on the year. The losing pitcher Michael Shreves falls to 2-8, and Devin Davis picks up his 5th save of the 2016 season. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball on the Washington Wild Things postgame show on the MSA Sports Network. I'm Zach Ziegler. Now, the Traverse City Beach Bums would be the team to score first here in this ball game, as in the bottom of the second, Elijah Trail walked to lead things off. Stephen Patterson would then double to put runners at second and third with nobody out. Next batter, Giancarlo Bergoni, would strike out looking. Then Casey Rodriguez would walk to load the bases before Jeff W. popped out, and Marcus Dirks came through with a 2 RBI double. That scored both Elijah Trail and Stephen Patterson and gave the Traverse City Beach Bums a 2-0 lead here in the ball game. Then Ryan Bacher would walk, and Jose Vargas would strike out to end the inning. It would remain 2-0 until the top of the fourth, when the Wild Things would strike first. Dave Popkins hitting a solo home run over the right field wall took the first pitch of the inning out there. It was his 12th home run of the year, and the Wild Things cut the lead to 3-1. Next batter was Jimmy Yezzo. He would fly out. Then Alvaro Gonzalez grounded out before Kyle Pollock and Jamadrick Magruder back-to-back 2-out singles to put runners at first and second for the Wild Things. Austin Rolbrock would then walk to load the bases with 2 men out before Andrew Heck came through with a slow-rolling RBI infield single. Scoring was Kyle Pollock. That made the score 2-2. The score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Then Chris Grayson would give the Wild Things the lead one batter later, delivering an RBI single. That scored Jamadrick Magruder. That gave the Wild Things a 3-2 lead. Wild Things back on the board in the top half of the fifth as Dave Popkins does it again. Takes the first pitch of the inning over the left center field wall. His 13th home run of the year. Another solo shot. That gave the Wild Things a 4-2 lead. Jimmy Yezzo would then single. Alvaro Gonzalez flew out. Kyle Pollock lined out, robbed of a hit by third baseman Elijah Trail on a diving catch. And then Jamadrick Magruder popped out to end the inning. Traverse City would get back on the board in the bottom of the fifth as Marcus Dirks walked to lead things off. Then Ryan Bacher flew out. Jose Vargas would strike out, and Will Kenger would double to bring in Marcus Dirks. That would make the score 4-3 before, Will Kenger was thrown out trying to steal third. Wild Things got on the board in the top of the eighth as Jamadrick Magruder walked to lead things off. Austin Welbrock would then ground out. Andrew Heck grounded out, and Chris Grayson delivered an RBI double. Coming into score was Magruder. That made it 5-3 Wild Things. Grayson would be thrown out going to third. That run would prove key to the Wild Things here in this one. As in the bottom of the ninth, Devin Davis came on looking for his 5th save of the year. Davis got the first 2 men out easily, a ground out by Stephen Patterson and a ground out by Giancarlo Bergoni. Then Kendall Patrick walked. Casey Rodriguez came into pinch run before Jeff W. came through with an RBI double. Rodriguez would score all the way from first. That made the score 5-4. Next batter, Marcus Dirks, would then fly out to left fielder Andrew Heck. Heck going all the way back to the track and securing the baseball, making the catch, and giving the Wild Things their 38th win of the year as they defeat the Traverse City Beach Bums 5-4. Winning pitcher in this one was the starter Matt Fraudin. Fraudin improves to 6-6. In tonight's ball game, won 6 innings. He had 3 runs, all earned on 5 hits, walked 5, and tied his career strikeouts with 8 on the night. Took 105 pitches through 6 innings of work. The losing pitcher tonight was Michael Shreves. Shreves goes 6, gives up 4 runs, all earned on 9 hits, walked 3, and struck out 2. Took him 94 pitches to get through 6 innings. The save goes to Devin Davis on the night. Davis gives up 1 run in his inning, on 1 hit, walked 1. It did not strike out a man, picking up his 5th save of the year. We have a full slate of action for you around the Frontier League here tonight on this Tuesday night. Couple of final scores in O'Fallon, Missouri. The Evansville Otters took care of the River City Rascals by a score of 8-2. And that is the only final to this point. 1 game rained out. Gateway and Southern Illinois were rained out tonight, as they will play a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 5:05 Eastern Time. And 2 games in progress, currently in the bottom of the 8th at All-Pro Freight Stadium. The Lake Erie Crushers lead the Windy City Thunderbolts by the score of 5-3. And in the bottom of the 3rd in O'Fallon, Missouri, they're playing a doubleheader there between the Evansville Otters and the River City Rascals. Rascals leading that one 1-0. Your Washington Wild Things star of the game tonight here in their 5-4 victory over Traverse City, none other than Dave Popkins. Popkins finishes the night 3 for 5 with 2 solo home runs, his 12th and 13th RBIs of the year. First multi-home run game for a Wild Thing since Brian Harr did it last time we were at Werfel Park. So Dave Popkins gets your Washington Wild Things star of the game in this night for his 2-homer night against Michael Shreves and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Game 2 of this 3-game series will be played tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, right back here at Werfel Park. Taking the mound for your Washington Wild Things will be left-hander Matt Snyder. Snyder in his 2nd start for the Wild Things, 3rd appearance. Last time out, went 5 1/3 and gave up 2 runs, picking up a win, improving to 1-0 and a 4.26 ERA on the year. He will be opposed by Traverse City Beach Bums right-hander Augie Gallardo. Gallardo will be making his Traverse City Beach Bums debut in that ball game. But the final score tonight, your Washington Wild Things take it from the Traverse City Beach Bums 5-4. Going to take a look at the totals here for the victorious Washington Wild Things. They improved to 38 and 39 on the year. They scored 5 runs on 11 hits and did not commit an error in the game. Their winner was Matt Frodden. Frodden goes to 6-6 for the losing Traverse City Beach Bums. They fall on the season to 33 and 44. They had 4 runs in the game on 10 hits and committed no errors. Their losing pitcher Michael Shreves falls to 2-8. Next game tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. I'd like to thank you for listening to Washington Wild Things baseball tonight here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back at it tomorrow at 7:05. Final score tonight, Wild Things 4, Beach Bums 5. From Traverse City, Michigan and Werfel Park, I, Zach Ziegler, say have a good night, everybody.
MSA Sports. Press 1 to resume or 3 to end broadcast. Your broadcast has been ended.